Oh, there we go. Yo, I have 0 viewers right now. Hello. Hey, what's up, man? Cool. So I am live. Let me just change my audio to... Hello. Let me know if you guys can hear me and the audio is pretty good. Yeah, so I think AG should be joining, and then Alex should be joining in a bit as well. Yeah, so this topic, how to protect yourself from, I think he put it manipulative women or something like this, but yeah, just to protect yourself while dating as well. So we're going to talk about like what you can do physically, mentally, financially to protect yourself. Also, let me know, guys, if the audio is good. But yeah, you know what? We just banter for a bit. I want to save my material for when they come so that they can kind of banter off it as well. We can play off each other and they don't repeat the same points. So yeah, if you guys have any questions for now, we'll just do some questions for like 5-10 minutes until they come. And then we'll do the main thing of how to protect yourself. Vamsi. I don't know how to pronounce that. Yeah, they're coming in like 5-10 minutes. I think AG should be here now. He should be. I'm going to message them. Join. Cool. Oh, man. It's going to be one of those days. Dude, so some weeks we have like the funniest comment section ever, and then some weeks we have like the dumbest questions repeatedly back to back. Elaborate on wheelchair game. Okay, so there's potential for this to be a good comment section today. This guy says, thoughts on creating accountability for yourself to approach. Honestly, just get a program, because like, and I'm not trying to be a salesperson here, like they create programs so that you take action. Like my mentorship program, for example, you have accountability to a coach that you don't want to disappoint. You have accountability to a peer group that you want to kind of inspire, and you have accountability to yourself because you sign a contract when you enter it, and you have financial accountability because you invested into a program. So yeah, I'd say that's a big thing. For this one, I'd say yes, obviously, especially in the US. It's like white guys in the US are seen as lower value because of the societal programming. So high body count, always a correlation of bad behavior. So this one, I wouldn't say it's a correlation of bad behavior. It's just a correlate. You know what it is? I think so. What I've seen is I've seen a couple of things. One, if the higher the body count the girl has, the less likely or the less able she is to pair bond. Now, I don't know if a girl doesn't bang anyone for 2 years after banging 100, if she can like repair that delta phos B gene or whatever with the or whatever that is. What's up? We got a
yo. What's up?
We're just kind of bantering until we get Alex on here, and then we can talk about the main topic.
Gotcha. Do you think it's different for men in pair bonding? Like it doesn't matter. They can be with like 10,000 chicks.
I think it's kind of the same.
Yeah. I mean, that's something in the manosphere they would say it's totally different, but I don't know that it is.
No, like, dude, I've noticed for myself the times in my life that I banged the most girls, I'm like, anything that triggers me or anything I get mad about, I just like kick a girl out. And it's like, that's not how you form any kind of relationship, or that's not how you build understanding and love, by like, you did one thing that I slightly disliked, get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah, I can have very strong feelings for a girl, but very quickly, if I'm dissatisfied, where my mind goes is like, well, I could just pull some other girls. You know, I could like that girl had a nice ass in the gym. Like I could be hitting that up, and I think that's something that's like one of the consequences. It's better than being in scarcity, though. Right? I would say it's better than being like the guy that marries a girl that he's completely attached to, and it's super toxic, and he knows he can't get anyone else.
Yep.
Which is common.
Yo, I got a cold plunge. It's coming in like 8 weeks or something. But yeah. It's going to be like a 53 degree. Well, I don't know what it goes down to. It goes down to like 39 or something. Yeah.
Galad, you got to be a little bit more like certain in yourself, you know, like she's calling you late at night. Is that a sign she likes me? Like, why are you being so passive and not like doing something with it?
Yeah, Alex is coming in and like he should be here now. He said 5 to 10 minutes late, so
Can an older guy bang hot Asian chicks?
I think so, but why not just go to like the Philippines or something? If you go to the Philippines,
Yeah, I think Filipino women, first of all, one of the like in terms of dateability, one of the best types of Asian girls. They tend to be like very feminine. They kind of have a thing for Western guys. So yeah, why not go to the Philippines, go to Thailand, go to Vietnam, like any of those kind of places? If you really have a fetish or like a preference, you just want Asian girls.
Dude, I love how like every possible like it's like black dude, white chick. That's just like what he likes. White guy and like black chick. Well, that's what he likes. But anything to do with like white guys and Asian girls, it's like a fetish. It's his fetish. It's like why can't he just
it's something I've been like kind of accused of because my last girlfriend was Asian. Is something that definitely came up.
That's my kink. You still kink. Best style.
How to flirt a girl's ass without being creepy. That's
actually, I have a really good line for this. You look like you don't skip leg day. That's my favorite one.
I think credit goes that's Squad and Casanovas, right?
No, I made that.
Oh, really? So he stole it from you?
I guess.
Yeah. He taught that all the time. I've met him. Like that's his favorite fucking line.
Nice.
I thought it was pretty good. I thought that was from him though. I didn't know that was yours.
Could have been independent. I mean, it's like that's like a big thing in the fitness community is like not skipping leg day. So it's not. I feel like even if I created it, it's not that original.
Someone says only 20 to 30% of women are a normal weight. I mean, that's not statistically inaccurate, but you go to a nightclub. Are there like only fat chicks? No, there's plenty of hot girls at a nightclub. There's plenty of hot girls if you're going to a college campus, a park. Like this is in your mind that like there's no non-fat chicks. There's plenty of hot girls around, even in the US where it's the most obese country in the world. That's like a very like I'm watching content. I'm watching the red pill kind of stuff instead of going out in the world. There's not like no attractive girls in good shape around. They're not hard to find.
I feel like it would be more difficult. That said, I've banged an Olympic athlete. Yeah. How do you ethically pump and dump? I think this is a big thing. People don't understand the value that girls get out of having a hookup. Like my roommate Nate and I, there are two girls that are visiting Tampa, and they're here for 2 days as a layover before they go to New York. And they were just looking for some, what they called vacay dick. So I actually have this funny text that her friend sent her. I'm going to cover the name. She says, "Oh my God, y'all are still going? Yep, for the whole day, LMAO. Love that for you guys. Did you find anything cool to do in Tampa?" She sends a photo of me and she goes, "This man." So like girls, they want to have a fun experience. They want to hook up. And I don't find anything unethical about having sex with girls, as long as you're not completely lying to them, right? Like when that girl and I hooked up, she knew that it wasn't anything long term. And I knew that it wasn't anything long term. Does that mean that we can't have fun together? No, it's super fun for both of us. We get to hang out, play board games. We get to, rap. We were like rap battling each other. We get to like, show each other. They showed us like their favorite movie. We went out and showed them like a cool place here in the city. Grabbed dinner together, ice cream, walked around. They got to play with our dogs. Yeah, it was super fun.
I'd go as far as to say that women have more to gain from a one-night stand than men do. Because if you know what you're doing, right? If you know the right techniques, you know how to like make a girl squirt, you know how to make her have multiple orgasms, she's going to get more pleasure out of it than you ever could possibly get. So as long as you like put in some effort, it's better for the girl than it is for you.
Okay. Dating in the West is like playing musical chairs. Yeah, I've talked about this before. It's like, it depends where you live though. Like if you're living in Boulder, Colorado, obviously, yes, in the vast majority of the US, people are overweight. So yeah, you have a like higher competition for the girls that aren't obese and fat. So
I want to see the statistics by age, because like college age girls, a lot less of them are fat than if you're like 50s, 60s, 70s. So I don't think it's not like 70% of college age girls are obese or something like that. It gets worse as they get older. I mean, look, it's better in Europe or something like obviously it's better, but not every chick is fat.
Dude, I got to make more YouTube content. Like in that self-amusement video I say self-amusement is part of game. Here's the other like 10 qualities of good game. And then like everyone just disregarded that part and they thought that it's only self-amusement. So yeah, self-amusement is part of game. It's part of like generating a good vibe to give to girls, but you don't want to do it constantly because that you can't build up tension that way. Also, like if a girl's about to go down on you, you're not going to be like, "Ooh, look at you." It's like, no, it's time to be like sensual and kind of a little bit more serious too. And
self-amusement is very easy to do wrong, right? It is a very powerful thing, but I see a lot of guys do it as like in a kind of clownish monkey way, like a dancing monkey kind of way. And there's no intent. There has to be both, right? There has to be intent too. And if there's not like genuine intent, it doesn't really work.
Well, I think people are having less sex now as well. Like if you look at the trends.
That's been proven. Like they're having less sex than up to like, it's like the 60s or something is the last time they had the same amount of sex as now.
Let's see. There's a lot of people in the chat, surprisingly.
And so far, a lot less black pill questions.
Yeah, we have 100 live viewers.
There's still a few, but there's less black pill questions.
Oh, this is a big one. So I'm gonna guess this guy, he was asking about Indian stuff. So the biggest problem is that you have sexual shame, that you've internalized beliefs about sex from your parents, from your friends. Like I even know in India, a lot of guys will shame each other for like being sexual with girls. So you internalize it through like the diffusion of cultural norms and this type of thing. And then it just becomes a part of who you are. So yeah, you have to get over sexual shame. I have like a 3-part video series in my course about that. Maybe in the future, I'll put some of that on YouTube as well. But basically, you want to process your sexual shame, and you have to basically come to the realization that it's okay to be sexual with girls. And then I had this as well because I was super religious growing up. So yeah, over time, when you have sex, you just interpret it in a way where it's like, this is a good thing. She had fun. I had fun. It's a win-win. Also for me, I feel, I don't know. I'm pretty emotional in some sort of senses, but I'm pretty logical. Like I read the book, Sex at Dawn, and it shows like the origins of human sexuality and how like we were meant to connect in this type of stuff. So like, I kind of got over it pretty quickly when I realized that that was the default state of humans.
I don't know why you're assuming that like it's a relationship unless you say otherwise. Like if you're meeting a girl on a dating app and you're vibing and there's a sexual chemistry between you and like you hook up, unless you've done something to explicitly make her think you're committing to each other, there's no reason to assume that.
Yeah, your comments shadow banned. The one that we're reading right now, we can't even see it. What color pills are we going into today? That's what I'm excited for. Alex is gonna bring up. So I've been debating this other subculture. It's like, what the? Wait, this guy says fat woman. You cannot say these words in the same sentence. Try it, guys. YouTube is pathetic.
Is that? I mean, if that's true, that's very interesting.
Banana Mexican field.
But you do have the suit, right? So you certainly.
Dude, the first thing I think of when I hear banana is banana cuts. So basically, when you're sprinting on a field playing Ultimate, you want to go back and like cut sharp instead of making a rounded banana cut. But no, I mean I have a bathmate. I just can't get around to using it because I just don't care that much. Yeah, we got Alex.
You know, now that I have 100K, I can't be bothered to show up on time. You know,
yeah, makes sense.
Must be nice.
You guys will understand when you get there, if that day ever comes.
Yeah, if that day ever
we need a fourth. Bring on the SJW. This screen is too weird with the 3.
We can just make it like right now.
Oh, why don't you make? Can you make it? Oh, there we go. That's nice.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. You guys want me to have him on? I'll text him.
Okay. Yo, let's do our how to protect yourself while dating thing, and then. So I kind of wrote. Did you guys write anything out for this? I wrote down a couple points that I want to.
No, I have a mental idea though.
Okay.
Do the opposite of what Rolo says.
So yeah, there's a couple things to protect yourself with. I wrote down like financially, so you're not like blowing too much money on girls, and like you realize that you set the standard that they need to behave well and ask to receive, and then if they behave well, you can like show them some love and treat them to nice things. But that comes as a result of them being nice, and it's not them manipulating you to get what they want. Mentally. I heard this from Paul Janko way back in the day, but he says like, like everyone knows what a foyer is, right? Like when you first enter a house, you have like this foyer area, and like he says, keep girls in that area of your mind, right? Don't let them penetrate too deeply because these girls are gonna leave, or they could do something wrong, or you have to cut them off. And if you are emotionally attached to every girl that you have to like get rid of, you're going to be emotionally distraught and mentally distraught. So you kind of want to keep them at a distance mentally until they've proven their worth and proven that they're valuable for you. And then physically, when you're traveling in Latin America, you got to be aware of like being drugged. So if 2 girls are like, if you go on a date and the girl like shows up with her friend randomly, and they want to get you to drink drinks and stuff like that, that's an issue. And then sexual health. It depends how risk tolerant you are, but condoms do protect against most things, but not everything, and they just kind of reduce the risk for certain infections. If you want to be ultimately like protected, you pop your dick through your boxers while wearing a condom, and that protects you from all the things that happen in the boxer zone. But yeah, if you want to bang 100, 200 girls, you will get STDs. Some of them just don't matter that much. Like different strains of HPV are pretty benign. But and most things are treatable. And if you have a circumcised dick, your odds of catching HIV are basically nothing. And then, I wrote down here, you want to understand the difference between fake attraction and real attraction. This is an issue with guys early on. You don't understand anything that's happening. So you don't know when a girl likes you genuinely or she's faking liking you to get something or, Does that make sense?
Yeah, let me add a few things to that. So, I think well, I guess where do we start with the STDs? So, you have to understand the risk groups. So, for example, anal sex is way more likely to get you STD than.
Dude, I literally had anal last night.
Oh yeah, who was the lucky guy?
Well, his name. Well, there's several, but no, I'm just kidding.
it's like a foyer, just like they're just fucking coming and going. It's like a revolving table. No, but like also another thing, but not super politically correct, but ghetto chicks are way more likely to have STDs. So stay away from ghetto and ratchet chicks. Like that's just so much more likely, especially the STDs that matter, like HIV. That's much more prevalent in certain communities than others. Like white upper middle class or Latin upper middle class, like white chicks don't typically have HIV. That's like really rare. It's more prevalent in certain communities. But I think like socioeconomic classes are like the biggest thing when it comes to that. Okay, so that's STD risk, and yeah, generally speaking, if you're gonna have a lot of sex, I do think it's a pretty good idea to use condoms, at least most of the time. Okay, then I think that the mistake some guys make is they're just rush into relationships too fast. I think that marriage really has no tangible benefits for a man, so that should be like there's absolutely zero reason to rush into marriage as a guy, like zero. Like why anyone gets married?
One reason would be if you're in a different country you want citizenship in.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's true. Aside from that, but aside from that, I don't understand why any guy would marry a girl within the first year or two of dating her. Like, why would you not want to date her for at least 5 years first before considering marriage? There's just no benefit to it. So I wouldn't rush into stuff like that. Moving in with a girl, I wouldn't rush into shit like that. Yeah.
That one's huge. Like that one's. I think that's more than just like a one-off. I've had two friends I knew that were really good at pickup. Like they would pull all the time. And they met one girl who, you know, like love bombed them. She was very like emotionally compelling to them. She was a little hotter than the girls they usually got. And they moved in with these girls within a month. And both of these guys years later never got away from them. And their lives are like shit now. Like years later, their lives, like I met one of them like 4 years later. And like he lost all his charisma. He was making less money. He became like basically an alcoholic. I have two friends like this where they moved in with a girl too quickly because they felt like really strong feelings for her, moved in, and their lives just got destroyed.
Yeah. Another thing I will add in terms of people are really paranoid about like false rape accusations. And yeah, they do happen. They're not nearly as prevalent as a lot of people in the manosphere make them out to be. Like if you watch a Black Pill Chow, they make it seem like every other girl is pressing like false charges. Like if you look at the statistics, you're more likely to hit or equally as likely to get hit by lightning as you are to be convicted of a false rape charge. So it's not likely, but you can minimize the risk with that. By doing certain things. I would say the big ones are after you hook up with a girl, just send her a text like that was fun or that was fire emoji. And when she texts you back, that's like your insurance policy. Like if you get a text back saying like, oh, I had fun too, like you're good. Like you have nothing to worry about at that point. That's like irrefutable proof. I think that's one. Another thing that what I try to do is I'll definitely troll girls. And sometimes if a chick's being a bitch, I'll like kind of troll her and stuff like that. But if I have sex with a girl, I'll try to be like pretty I don't know, nice after the sex, unless she does something like majorly fucked up. Like I think some guys sometimes just like get too carried away in the ego and they fuck a chick and they're like, yeah, now get the fuck out. Like shit.
Dude,
like
I'll do that as a joke sometimes. Like right after I come, I'll be like, all right, thanks for coming over. And the girls are like, what? And then I'm like, nah, I'm just fucking with you.
But yeah, so I would say that doing stuff like that, well, it's also rude.
And right before I put it in, I'll always get verbal consent. So you can make them kind of like, you can make it part of sex too. So like, you know, when you do the thing where you're like your pussy's here and your dick's like slapping it or whatever, it's right there and you're kind of rubbing on it. And she's like, come on, just put it in. Basically you want to get to that point and I'll have her say like say, please, this type of stuff.
Yeah, please fuck me. Fuck me, master. Like those kind of, you don't have to do it in a really like submissive bitch ass sounding way. Like, may I please have sex with you now? You can say it like, tell her to say, please fuck me, right? And get her to say yes.
Do you guys want to know the one tip that has saved me more than any other? The one tip. And you can literally have girls take this. So basically it's a dark triad test, but it's on it's tylopez.com/quiz. And what it is it doesn't say it's a dark triad test, but it is a dark triad test. So you can test for girls' psychopathy. If a girl has psychopathy level above anything above 10, it's like, that's a crazy person that you should look out for. Someone that'll fuck you over and feel nothing. So
how long does the test take?
Like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So I'll just tell her to have a girl take it, be like, hey, let's see if we like get along. Let's see if we're.
But don't you feel like if she's a true psychopath, she's actually gonna like manipulate the results so as not to come off as a psychopath?
So there's three things. Machiavellian is what you're talking about, which is the ends justify the means, and that's where people are like they're kind of like Todd. Todd would be like Machiavellian to the 10th degree, or like Ty Lopez would be 10th degree. Like he'd just be like 10 out of 10, you know. And literally his quiz shows that he's Machiavellian because the quiz says, let me see what it says: Life Compass Personality Quiz. So,
but yeah.
So if you have a girl that takes the results and her results are like way far like beyond what's average or normal, then you know that's a girl to not go deeper with. Does that make sense?
Yeah. People are asking, what's the website for the test?
TyLopez.com/quiz. I'll just put it in the.
Why does Ty Lopez have like a?
Because dude, everyone that he does business with, everyone that he talks to, he'll have take the quiz, so he knows not who to avoid.
That's interesting. But I feel like if I was a psychopath, I would just lie on the test, so like as to come off not like a psychopath.
So yeah, you could probably do that if you knew that it was a dark triad test and you knew what the implications are. Otherwise, you're just going to answer normally.
Oh, so it's not obvious what kind of test you're doing?
Yeah, so I just posted it in the chat for all of us.
I mean, they'd also have to be smart, and there's plenty of girls I've known that are psychopathic, but they're not very smart.
What was the other one I had? I think I had one more, but I completely forgot what it was.
I have one. Protect your wallet when you bring girls back. Like, have like some drawer that you put it in. You don't want to leave shit out because it's awkward and it's fucking weird too. Let's say you really like a girl and she like took some money from you and she thought she could get away with it, and then she kind of likes you, but she also like kind of wanted money. It's like it puts you in a weird situation.
Have you ever had a girl rob you?
I don't think so. Not to my knowledge.
I haven't. I've been worried about it, but many girls I've told, I've never had one like rob anything.
I've had once. Yeah, it was actually a really fun story. This chick, this goes to the point, if it feels too good to be true, it usually is. It was like, I remember when I was in Vegas, it was like 8 years ago, when I was just sort of getting into game, and this chick just was like too into me. You know, she just made it too easy. It's something felt off. But I just kind of went with it. I went back to my room, and then she's like, "Oh, I gotta use the bathroom." And she's like in the bathroom for a while, and then like she bounced like shortly after, and I realized my cell phone was gone, and I was like so bummed out. And then this was the funny part. So then the next day we're leaving Vegas, and I'm like, "Yo," I tell my friend, "Yo, just try calling the cell phone. Maybe she'll pick up." And some fucking Middle Eastern dude picks up. "Habibi, hello?" And I'm like, and so fortunately my friend was Persian, so they talk in like fucking Farsi or whatever. And turns out what happened was this Persian dude, right after she robbed me, she robbed this Persian dude, but the Persian dude caught on and he ran after her in the elevator. And as she was getting in, he grabbed for the purse, and he said he saw the purse and there was like 20 cell phones. He randomly grabbed one, and that one just turned out to be mine. And he gave me the cell phone back for free. Here's the real kicker to that story. Later, like as I was driving back to LA, I was going through like my Tinder, and he actually had gone through my Tinder and sent one message to one random chick who was in LA, and all it was "hey." And I knew that wasn't me because I never say "hey." That's like not an opener I would ever use. And I didn't have Tinder, and the timestamp lined up. So he got my phone, he opened it, he went through the Tinder, he messaged "hey" to one random chick, and then he gave me my phone back.
That's crazy.
Yeah, some guy was like, "Dude, what kind of chicks are you meeting? I've never had to worry about a girl stealing from." Well, dude, you're probably not working enough volume. And also, like, dude, if you're pulling some girl, you don't have time to get her to do a dark triad test on the way home, like to see if she's legit. And it takes longer to know people, especially if you're just kind of fucking around and joking and stuff like this. So.
Oh, I remember what I was gonna say is always be careful when it's more than one girl or two girls. So if like the threesome feels too easy, like these two chicks want to go back to you and just feels like too good to be true, that's usually when shit happens. So when girls are robbing you, they usually work in pairs, for safety reasons. So be very careful when it comes to two chicks, especially in third world countries, like in Colombia and stuff like that. Unless I know the girls personally, I won't even fuck with that stuff. I remember one time also, me and my buddy Blake, we went on a double date with these two chicks. And something was like so off. Like they were super flirty over text, but like in real life, they were just like so not down. They like were not down for any kind of escalation, but they wouldn't leave either. They just kept giggling. And then Blake saw the chick put something in my drink, and he texted me. And I was like, oh, shit. So I want to test her, right? So I had the drink, and I was like, you know what? Here, you drink some, because I've been drinking all night. And she wouldn't drink it. I was like, no, come on, have a drink. She's like, no, it's okay. It's okay. Super sketch. So, yeah, when it comes to like more than one girl, especially in third world countries, that's usually a red flag.
You know what's funny? When I looked up this term on YouTube, how to protect yourself while dating, every single one was for women.
Yeah.
There's like none like, here's as a man how to keep yourself safe. But I guess there's red pill channels dedicated to this kind of thing too.
I mean, that talks about the social mores, right? What's considered normal. Like women are the victim and men are the perpetrator. And when it comes to physical stuff, that's more often the case. That's true. But when it comes to emotional abuse, I think it's at least as common for women to emotionally abuse men, if not more so. Like, at least from what I've seen.
Dude, I changed my answer. Actually, I have had a girl steal from me. She stole my leather jacket. Yeah. And then I've had girls steal my my underwear and never return them.
No,
I had a girl leave a really nice watch that like I just got to keep. So I've had that happen.
Yeah, chicks leave shit all the time.
Oh, man.
That happens quite often.
When I had my immersion house in Miami, the amount of shit that would accumulate, like earrings and like necklaces and like, wanted to start like a little Etsy shop with all of it.
Yeah, you should do that. That's gonna be a little side hustle.
You got to have a statistic to say something like that, you know?
I like the name John Xena.
I don't know if I believe that. I cannot imagine that.
I've seen 60-40, but that's men being 60 and women being 40.
Bro.
I mean, I think he's just trolling. I don't think he's actually
No, I like that's funny.
Oh, people come back. Let me answer this question. New product release date? Yeah, probably 5 to 6 weeks from now. Still going through the editing process. I know, it's been delayed, but it's coming. It's already finished. We're just going through the editing right now. Okay. Do you guys have anything else to add on this topic?
No, can we bring in the SJW? I can't. This is exciting.
Let me see if he responded.
I can't wait to get canceled again.
Either way, I don't care. Oh, okay. He said he's down. Whatever you disagree.
Is this a guy that can like talk, or is he just gonna go on like an emotional rant and try to like?
Did you watch mine from last night?
No. Was it pretty good?
It was interesting. And there was two people. First dude showed up blackout wasted. He was just like dead drunk. He couldn't. I had to kick him off because he was just like he was just like going crazy. The second
going fresh and fit on their asses.
Yeah,
dude. Most male feminists, they're like doing it as their own mating strategy. So it's kind of cringe.
Like, did you see? I did the thing where I talked to the dating guys and I stood up for the women.
The second lady, she was a single mom who was like going crazy. She was like drinking and smoking weed, which I mean, like whatever. But it's just kind of weird if you're like a mother of two children. But anyway, so she's like, you're a liar. And then, but we went through point by point. She agreed with me on every point. And she's like, okay, yeah, you're right. That's not a lie. Like every point she agreed with me on. And then she's like, but I don't know. I still feel like you're a liar. I'm like, well, we just kind of established that I'm not a liar based on all the examples you brought. And then she's like, well, yeah, whatever. And she just basically like rage quit. It was pretty funny.
Or wait, I think I got canceled in 2019.
How did you get canceled?
I was on national news in Colombia because I put
my Colombian documentary. Let's go.
Yeah, what's the story with that again?
You're going hard.
Yo, I'm just gonna make a video on it because it's so interesting how it happened. And like I also read all the books on it. Like anyone that could get at risk of being canceled, read the book So You've Been Publicly Shamed, and then read Rush V's like book about documenting his tour. It's like some of those fascinating things. It's just like really interesting psychologically, like how group dynamics work and how like diffusion of responsibility happens. And it's so funny how like you remember there was like a big push about like don't bully people, like don't do that. But when people think the morals are on their side, they will like they could watch you die and they'd be like, yeah.
No, they literally do. Like that. That's a common
wait, someone
thing,
said this one thing about this guy. Let's go after him to kill him.
Like, have you seen people who don't believe in COVID? Like, they'll die, and that'll be in the news. Guy who doesn't believe if COVID died, and he had COVID, and people will comment like, "That's awesome! Woo! It's a party! Like, great job!" Or same thing happened with Kevin Samuels when he died. Tons of people are like cheering about it. You know, they're
the only thing that makes sense about this is the fact that we as a species hunted animals to extinction as part of like that's like part of our identity is like being extremely violent and like warring, and it's insane how violent humans are.
Dude, I think SJWs are actually the biggest bullies, but never in real life, only behind the comfort of their computer screen or their phone. Dude, on TikTok, I get told to kill myself on a daily basis.
Nice.
On a daily basis. Like,
I think that's how you know you've made it, right? When you're getting told to kill yourself regularly.
Oh, man.
Yeah, they're like the biggest bullies. You're
like, I'm just trying to tell people how to send "Hey Trouble" on Tinder, please.
They really are the biggest bullies, but they're such pussies. They'll never say it to your face. That's the thing. I think social justice warriors are all massive pussies.
That's nice. That's very smart.
White people approach.
What is white people approach?
That's all I teach. That's all I teach.
White people approach. Hi, my name is Alex, and I'm white. How are you?
Well, Alex, if you spend too much time in the sun, like once you reach a sufficient quantity of melanin, you can't do the white people approach anymore.
Damn it. Well, fortunately, I'm a creature of the night. Who are the worst? SJW or super conservative girls who are close-minded about sex? Ooh, that's an interesting question.
I'd say SJWs.
Yeah, definitely.
Depends in terms of what. So SJW chicks are usually like pretty easy to bang, actually, as long as you can just put up with their shit. Because they're usually, what I've noticed with like the SJW chicks is they pretend like they want a super respectful guy, whatever. They just want to be told they're a dirty little slut. Like all like they're one way in like their day-to-day life, and they're completely different in bed. Like they just want to be degraded, fucking slap. Like they're into the most degrading shit ever. But as soon as outside the bedroom, and they're like, I'm a woman who likes respect. The super conservative girls, they're much harder to bang, but they're probably going to be like more pleasant to be around. I don't know.
That's this feminist chick. When we were banging, I was like, let me know if I'm too rough. And she's like, there is no such thing. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, let's find your limit. She's like, I don't have one. Oh, okay.
Did you find her limit?
Dude, I had to stop at a certain point. I was like, it was getting very intense.
You have like a hammer, you're just beating her on the head.
Break out the Theragun on her face.
Now, let's see what other questions we have. What do you think of Iron Man lifestyle?
Oh, I did a podcast with him.
Oh yeah, me too. Yeah, I like him.
Seems cool.
Guys, have you hooked up with anyone who you cold message through IG? I actually never have. Have you guys?
I have to have had. Yeah, I'd say I have. I don't, but you know what? I have done more of this where I put out like an Instagram ad and then I have girls reply to it and then I start messaging them. That's more what I've done.
So is it an ad like a dating ad?
Yeah, you just put out an ad and then girls comment responding to what you said, and yeah, it doesn't work in the US pretty much because the ad spend here, you'd have to spend 100 times to get the same result.
Well, what if you are ultra loaded? What do you think what if you drop like 10K a day?
Dude, yeah, if I was ultra loaded for sure I would do it. Yeah.
Okay. So
10K a day would be overkill. I think even for like maybe $500 you could get the same bang for your buck as like $5 to $10 in Colombia.
Okay, so it could work in the US as long as you're willing to really spend a lot of money on ad spend, basically, right?
Yeah, which makes it seem like at that price point, it's probably better to just use that to like host a party or like rent a boat or something, you know?
Yeah.
I would say Australian girls tend to be the most masculine of any white women. So some of them are hot, but like they're kind of like they spit and shit. Like they're kind of annoying. They can be funny, but they're just very masculine.
So yeah, I think like 20% of women are pretty high testosterone. I'm not that attracted to them, like the high testosterone women. So yeah, but I don't know. What do you mean by alpha? I don't know. Like type A women that are also like really smart, I do well with them, but like just like a super like butch or like high testosterone chick, I don't want to deal with them.
I'd say in a lot of ways, like girls who are more ambitious, like a lawyer or something like that, they tend to be easier. Like they don't play as many games. So I'd say that's not a bad thing.
And I can flex my brain with them. Wait, when is this guy coming? Are you?
I don't know. I'm messaging him right now.
Okay.
We're sending some dick pics back and forth.
The biggest obstacle to getting these people on is using StreamYard. They're like, what? How does that work? I don't. Huh?
For me, it's just getting them. Like they I would say solid 80-90% of them back out. They or like sometimes they get like. They're like, wait a second, this debate is going to be public. I was like, yeah. Did you think it was just going to be me and you talking on the phone? They're like, well, I didn't know it was going to be so public.
Just you and him at different podiums.
Well, you made a video saying I have a small dick and I'm a rapist. So you did that publicly. So, figured we'd have a debate publicly.
He got a free ticket to EDC. So he's, going to the rave. And for this one, my book's coming out probably about 2 weeks. The book I'm working on about 2 weeks.
We're replacing Kevin with Coach Whitepill. We decided he was in the right. Yeah.
We rewatched the banana and we're like, damn, he has.
There's actually a lot of very subtle DHVs and.
We didn't even realize how good he was.
The banana is a metaphor for his penis.
It was too advanced for us to critique, really.
Yeah. But after I took one of his boot camps, I was able to understand it. No, I mean, I did message Coach Whitepill to come on for like, I don't know, not even a debate, a podcast, and just give his side of the story, but he didn't respond. It's kind of weird to me.
My answer to that is I would say I doubt it. I've seen Coach Whitepill game like 30 minutes, 40 minutes. And what he did is he would kind of just like waddle towards Asian girls and like try to dance with them without talking to them in a way that kind of came across a little creepy. And then they would be like, the girl would be like, what are you doing there? What's going on? And he would move on to the next one. So,
oh, really? That's his game?
Yeah, it was just, he had a very serious, like, unfun energy. Like he was not there to have fun or to express himself. He's just like, must get an Asian girl. And it was a little bit off. And I didn't see him have any success. And I have seen, I've pulled with Kevin, like the first time we did infield, we pulled together within 2 approaches. So I've seen he can actually like make something happen.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, well, Coach Whitepill, the thing is he talks about, I feel like he's a little disgenuine with some things. Like he talks about how he has all this proof, but there's actually only one piece of infield of him. Like a photo with a girl doesn't mean shit to me. Like a photo with a chick, dude, I could so easily manipulate that. I could get photos with 100 smoke shows. Easy. It's so easy. Go up to a club, girl, easy. Be like, yeah, can I get a photo with you real quick? Like it's so
easy.
They
ask me for pictures sometimes. Like
yeah,
they'll
not proof at all. Like either unless the photo's in like the bedroom situation, like she's like on your dick or something like that. Okay. Or infield. But but he only has one piece of infield, and frankly, it's really bad. So when he
the pictures of girls, they were not hot girls. They were very average.
Yeah, well, I just think pictures in general don't mean anything unless it's like in the bed. So when he says, "Oh, I have a lot of proof," like he doesn't really though. Like he doesn't, which is fine. But just don't
say you do.
Yeah, exactly.
And also, Kevin Ray Wilder's not a pickup coach. Like, so it's not really a fair comparison.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, I think there was I don't know. There's like really when I watched that whatever podcast I did with John, there's like really some things that he said that just like didn't make any sense. Like he's like, oh yeah, Kevin's just trying to do damage control right now. Kevin is trying to do damage control, but the narrative on the internet is that Kevin is right. Like whether you agree with it or not, that's the general narrative. So it's kind of like gaslighting, saying that or whatever the term is, that Kevin's trying to do damage control. Like no, like right now you're trying to do damage control, which is fine, but the fact that he's not willing to have a debate or even come on my live stream and give his side of the story is like kind of bizarre to me. So that kind of, I don't know, makes me not believe parts of the story.
So the only part that I found just hilarious was they were saying, yeah, Kevin, he lives with his parents, by the way. And then Coach Whitepill said, yeah, and I'm actually living with my parents right now because I'm not making much money, but it's because Kevin took away my money. And I'm like, okay, bro, like, cool story. So why are SJWs so contradictory?
Oh, man. Oh, let me just quickly comment on this. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't see that, but I'll have to check it out. That's interesting. I did not know Donovan commented about me, but yeah, I thought it was a good discussion. Too bad Myron called him and ruined the fun. I would love to. I would pay $1,000 to have a copy of that recording. Hey, Myron, how's it going? You're talking to Alex? I thought I said you can't talk to him. But Myron, I really enjoy our conversations. He seems like actually like a pretty smart guy. You know, he wasn't that bad. Donovan, I said no, and I mean it. Like, well, how did that conversation go? Like, I could not imagine calling and telling another man he can't. Like, imagine. Like, I'm just trying to imagine. I call you Avery. I'm like, Avery, that's it. No more collaborations with Kevin Ray Wilder. But like, you're not my dad, so no. Like, how does that conversation even go? How do you tell another man who he can and can't work with?
Do you have confirmation that happened? Like that actually?
Well, he said it on his stream though.
That's
like
crazy.
Donovan said that. He said that. Yeah, he said something like, yeah, you know. Me and Alex are gonna do another debate, but then Myron called me and he told me no more of that. That's basically what he said. Like, how does he tell you no more of that? Or like, I don't know. That makes no sense to me.
So why are SJWs so contradictory? They want to promote female sexuality, but then hate pickup guys. I think that actually makes sense because SJWs tend to be focused on the fact that they are a victim, right? They are a victim of oppression. Women are the victim, men are the perpetrator. And so men learning how to pick up women, they are the victimizers, and you're teaching them how to make more women victims. So it's just because it's the difference between being the victim and being the abuser or the patriarchy, the victimizer.
I like how every like personal development book, the first thing they say is don't identify as being a victim.
Yeah, I know. Well, I think being a victim is one of the worst things ever. In terms
it gives you comfort, right? I mean, it gives you a sense of, it's not.
But in terms of results and growth, I think it's the biggest roadblock you can have.
But they also that's how they form community, I think, as well, is like saying, hey, I'm a victim, and people reach out, go, oh my God, yes, you are, oh my God. And they love that emotion of being connected in that way.
It's addictive.
People
You unite in the pain, like the feeling of
that's why it's such a bad thing. I mean, there was this one guy who I debated. He was a black pillar, and usually it's pretty funny because this is how usually these black pill debates go. There's 20 minutes of debate and 40 minutes of like free coaching sessions. Because like after 20 minutes, like, so what kind of picture would you use instead, right? And then I just wind up feeling bad for them, and I just wind up giving them like a free coaching session, which I really gotta stop doing because that's like so not fair to my fans. Because like basically it's like if you want to get free coaching from Alex, just disagree with him, right? That's not like the precedent I want to say. But anyway, so this dude, like, I gave him a lot of feedback, and then I was like, dude, like, I'll help you for free, just like fuck. He's like, I don't want to. I'm not gonna waste my money on you dating coaches. I'm like, dude, I don't want your fucking $5. Like, I know you're dead broke and live in your mom's basement. You don't have to pay me anything. Just fucking get the photos that I told you, and I'll help you pick out the good ones, and then we can go from there. And then he like keeps DMing me and just whining and complaining. And I want to do an experiment. How many times I could just say okay until he stopped whining. And I failed the experiment because he just kept going and going. He'd be like, it fucking sucks that, I'm this guy and I can't get anything. I'm like, okay. And these fucking chicks, they're feminists. I'm like, okay. And then okay. And it just kept going and going like that. And then eventually I was like, dude, like, I'm not your fucking therapist. Like, I'm not interested in cuddling you. Like I said, I'll help you with your dating profile. Nothing more. Like, I'm not going to be your fucking therapist. Like, I don't want to be your shoulder to cry on. Like, and he just like fucking flipped out. He's like, go kill yourself. You don't understand my pain. I'm like, okay, dude. Well, like, if you think I should kill myself, I'm probably not going to give you like free advice then. Good luck. He got like so butthurt.
It seems like abandonment issues to me. That's what.
Yeah, because I didn't want to listen to his like whining over and over again. I gave him like so much leeway too. I put up with it for like 10 messages. And then I was like, okay, no more whining, dude. Like, I don't want to listen to you, bitch.
It is sad that these problems that happen in people's lives for like maybe a year or so just manifest for the rest of their lives if they don't take care of it.
Yeah, and it's so addictive. Like, this guy is like addicted to the idea of being a victim and convinced that the issue is his looks and feminism. And he's like, the sad thing is he's a decent looking dude. He's not ugly. Like, a lot of these guys who are black pillars who think the problem is their looks, they're actually above average looking. Like, they're not male models, but they're actually like decent looking guys. But And, oh, dude, here's the funniest thing about that conversation. Okay, this is, or at least to me. He says, the only reason you get pussy is because of your status. I was like, what status do you think I have? He's like, your pickup coach status.
No, that hurts.
I was like, dude, do you think girls get turned on by the fact that I have a bunch of black pill debates and like I give pickup advice? Like, you think that's a DHV? I actively try to hide it from girls. Like, I don't want them to find out because
girls find my channel and they get pissed. I had one the other day where I had a date planned with this girl, and she said she found my channel, and she's like, "Were you filming me? Like, I didn't, I don't want to be filmed." I was like, "No." She's like, and she got really pissed, did not want to hang out. Then, fortunately, though, like 3 days later, she's like, I actually read your book. I got your book, and you're right. Like, men are kind of pansies these days, and they need to be more assertive. So I actually kind of like the content. But usually it doesn't go that well. Usually they get just kind of pissed.
Yeah. I mean, I always tell a girl during the date or after the date, but I don't tell her before. But like the idea that somehow my pickup YouTube channel is helping me get laid is just like so absurd. Because if anything, it's working against me or it's neutral. Yeah, so to me though, and he kept like saying that the only reason you get pussy is because of your pickup status. Like pickup status, that's an oxymoron. Those two things.
This would be an interesting debate for you. Elliot Holt and you.
I've had him on the channel before.
Oh, you have? That's awesome.
Yeah, I've interviewed him
because he preaches male celibacy.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of
He does not, like, that's new, right? Like,
yeah, that's new, dude. He has like, if you watch his
phases,
it's like radically different than it is now. He went through like a little bit of like a low key feminist stage, like. He's done a lot of like.
Then he became MGTOW or like red pill.
Yeah. He's done a lot of 180s.
He's an interesting guy though.
He's an interesting guy. Yeah.
Very charismatic. Like there's no.
He's a very nice guy. Like I like him very much as a person. But yeah, I disagree with.
Dude, my favorite person that makes extreme points is Andrew Tate, because it's always like he'll bring up a topic and you have no idea where he's going to go with it.
Oh yeah, you said that. Yeah.
Like sparkling water. He's like when I think about sparkling water, I think it's like kind of a little bit gayer, right? But he's like, sparkling water. It's the only water you should be drinking. This man says he doesn't want to drink sparkling water. You're afraid of the bubbles? The bubbles? It's a funny shit, dude.
He said, I drink sparkling water because sparkling water is for rich people.
Yeah.
Tap water is for poor people. Like, if you can't afford sparkling water, you're a fucking loser. Some of his takes are kind of ridiculous. And I feel like some people watch it and they think, he's being serious with some of the things where he's clearly kind of trolling.
Yeah, I think so.
But it's hilarious as long as you get it.
Yeah,
I think he's a great person to look at for modeling like game, because when you're talking to girls, you should do those like extreme points. Girls don't like when you're like, oh, well, I think that maybe. No, they just want you to go like 100%. If you don't drink sparkling water, you're a poor faggot that should be killed at the stake. They're like, what?
Yeah, I feel like Andrew Tate has like subtly trolling in a lot of his videos, and it's like an inside joke that like either you pick up on it or you don't. But like, because he's not like, if you watch his long form content, he's a lot more chill. So he's like, I think like there's a lot of like subtle trolling that he does. That's kind of my take.
I mean, there's a character, like
it's a character. Yeah.
Like, there's a character.
Yeah, dude, I think he's one of the funniest people I've ever seen. And he's
his interview with Your Mom's House, right?
The Your Mom's House podcast, you watch that. By the end of it, he has you thinking that like if you don't get into his course, like your whole family's gonna die. You're gonna be left out to dry. You're gonna be a virgin that dies alone. And you're like, damn, I gotta get that course.
Yeah, if anyone wants to get into the war room or whatever it is, like just watch his videos, because the way he sells shit is really, really clever.
Oh damn! Apparently, people are saying in the chat. I just checked this. John apparently roasted Vadim from Honest Signals. How do you roast Vadim? I don't understand.
I mean,
he's roasting the rejection compilation video that I edited, by the way. But
really,
I mean, I don't know. We did it to show that rejection's normal, and that people were deifying Vadim, and he's like, no, I get rejected too. These are some of the rejections I get, and almost every rejection he gets is very light. It's never like, what the fuck? I'm gonna get my fucking.
There was one who said that her husband was a police officer.
Yeah, the one with the hat. But it was so funny because he's like, what are you doing wearing this goofy hat? And he's wearing the exact same hat, and she didn't see the humor in it, and that was why it's funny.
Yeah.
Well, those videos probably were, a lot of them were like his comedy videos where he's playing a character.
Yeah,
he roasts everyone. Who gives a fuck? At this point, if you roast every single person on the planet, your roasts don't matter.
I've never been roasted.
He hasn't roasted
everyone.
You.
I feel left out.
Does my point matter? No, it doesn't. It's like at this point, it's a meme.
Yeah. Well, I've told John this like many times. I think he like quite often focuses on the wrong people to go after. All you guys should debate Myron Gaines and Fresh. Yeah, they don't want to do it. Like, of course I will. I've said that publicly. I'll do it like 1,000 times. They're the ones who are the roadblock in that, not me. Yeah. So. Okay.
Lots of people have roasted him, so I don't know what you're talking about there.
Ask Muktal Dictionary if he wants to come on again. Well, he never came on in the first place. We were supposed to do a 2-part debate. One was on his channel, and in an act of good faith, I did that one first. Then he was supposed to come on my channel, and then he bitched out and made really lame excuses. He did like I think he's bipolar or something, because he kept doing complete 180s in the emails, and he just bitched out, and he's still bitching out. So there's not an again, because he didn't do it in the first place, and I don't think I can do it.
Bro, where's our SJW? I haven't been told to kill myself in like a few years.
I messaged him. He said half an hour.
Okay. We work on his time. Okay.
I don't know if this guy's gonna be as much of an SJW, but we'll see.
So I don't like Fresh and Fit because their takes are just so horrible. Like, they give guys bad advice, and some people take them genuinely seriously. How to eat out with your food? No, like, you know, if you're not, I do not go out to eat food because that's for poor people. Wealthy people order Uber Eats.
Yes, and they have their private chef.
People ask me, what's the Jack? Oh, yeah, I did I tell you guys? I got Austen. I got Jack Demo coming on Tuesday.
Nice, dude. He's awesome. He's a cool guy.
It took me like a year to get that podcast, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Probably going to talk about pickup and stuff. I'll probably start thinking about that closer to Monday. I usually don't think about podcasts until like the day before.
Yo, you should get the Fresh and Fit guys on your podcast.
Yeah, dude, they're totally down. I'll hit them up right now.
You're both in Miami. It would be super convenient. You could do it in the studio.
They're never going to do it in a million years. I've already tried.
At one point, they said, "Why give women orgasms? There's no point. Like, that's a waste of my time."
Yeah.
Like, some of the shit they say, it's just.
It's not at one point. Myron actively says that. He doesn't understand. He says,
just because you can't do it doesn't mean it's not something worth doing, you know?
He contradicts himself at all times. Never leave with your wallet. But what's the point of giving girls orgasms? So if you're not leaving with your wallet and you're not giving them sexual pleasure, why are they hanging out with you? You think it's because they want to hang out in your fucking
For you guys, isn't it obvious what's happening, that he has like a huge pain body attached to women, and that those views come through that, and he hasn't processed that? Yes. For me, it's just like super clear, and it's kind of cringe. But for people at a very low level, that probably is they resonate with that.
That's the problem,
energy, right?
And he's like,
why would you give value to a woman? Why would you make her feel good?
Yeah,
like he's making it worse in those people who believe that, you know?
Yeah, he's publicly. I mean, he's whatever. Like, told me directly that he doesn't believe in eating pussy because it makes him. It's feminine. It puts you beneath a woman. I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you on? I'm like, it is. There's nothing feminine about eating pussy. He's like, it puts you beneath a woman. I don't do it. I was like, oh my fucking god.
I think it's true that Ty Lopez has a game in the broader and like the social circle sense.
Yeah, Ty Lopez has said himself he doesn't think game is that important.
Like, there is a level where that definitely works, but most people are never going to get there. So replicating him is not necessarily a good idea.
Dude, we actually, Alex, you know, the fuck? Why is his name slipping my mind? Calvin, right?
Yeah.
Dude, there's this. Were you in that group chat? It was like basically it was like an old group chat. It was called the Centurions, and he posted there's.
Oh yeah.
Ty Lopez had a video with 2 girls, and he paid them to be in the video, and he didn't fuck them. And then both of those girls fucked Calvin later that night, and he has like a video of it.
Yeah, I've seen, Calvin has sent me a few homemade pornos. You know, the thing with Calvin is I sometimes would hate running into him because every time I see him, he would just immediately jump into a rant about all the chicks he's fucking, and he gets a lot of pussy, so it's always.
Well, what year? What year was this? Because there was one year he did 100 in a year, and he was pretty happy.
And this was, I don't know, probably around when I was living in LA, like 2015. Like, I would see him on the prom.
That was his year. That was also golden age of seeking.
Yeah, I would see him on the prom, and I'd be like, "Hey, what's up, Calvin?" He'd be like, "Dude, I was fucking this chick the other day, man. Like, dude, it was fucking epic." And then he wouldn't shut up for like 10 minutes. I'd be like, "Yeah, Calvin, I really got one, man." He's like, "All right, before you go, let me tell you this one story." And he would just go on and on until like I'd have to physically like walk away. So yeah. I think Calvin's a good example of like low-key dark triad game. Because he is definitely a narcissist on some levels, in my opinion.
Yeah, most people are though. If you test people's narcissism, most people are between 40 and 60%. So,
I wonder what I'm at.
For psychopathy, most people are beneath 10%, and then like Machiavellianism is like 30 to 50 from what I've seen. I've seen maybe like 200 tests of this because I do it for everyone.
Let's see what else we have.
Dude, Kinobody, from my perspective, from what he was always cool to me. He gave me his. I filmed this video on like Casey Neistat video, and he lent me his boosted board for it. Hung out with him at his house. He's cool.
You know Kinobody? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's in my video.
Where does he live? I thought he lived in like Toronto or something.
He lives in Toronto.
Yeah,
he lives in Toronto, but he also has a place in Miami, I believe.
Oh, why don't you do a collab with him?
I mean, I did. I didn't do like a long form talking collab, but
well, you do have like an 8-month editing process, so maybe it's still coming.
Yeah, fuck, dude. God damn it, dude! I've produced 70 videos in like 4 months, but they're all my course. Yeah, I gotta take your advice. I'm gonna start doing like a YouTube video every 2 weeks, and then also just producing a shit ton of course videos.
Every 2 weeks. I think my advice was like 2 a week, but I guess.
Well, dude, I have to produce videos for the course too. Like you already have your course done, so you could just focus on YouTube. Once my course is done, I'm down to like do as much YouTube as I want. You know, I love YouTube. It's fun.
Yeah. Wait, when we had that bet, was there an expiration date on it?
Yeah, it was at the end of last year.
Oh, damn it. Okay.
Let me see if I can.
So for me with Todd V, I'd say his verbal game sometimes is really good. Sometimes he says some weird shit. What I always disliked about him is his nonverbal communication. His subcoms are always kind of like lacking any masculinity. That was my biggest criticism of him. But his technical understanding is pretty good.
Yeah, I've already said my piece on him. He has some of the best understanding of game in general, and like he can go deep on any topic. But anyone that watches Todd game, no one really wants to game like Todd, and it's kind of like
look fun.
Too. It's like Todd's offered a cup of water, and he's like, "I mean, I'm not thirsty, but I'll drink it." It's like everything has to be this like mental game of it's like
it's a chess match.
It's too much.
He's trying to beat the girl at chess.
Yeah.
And also the park bench clip is ridiculous. I really like. Have you seen the one where he's harassing those girls and like they say go away something like 6 times and he just never leaves? That one I want to understand like what he was thinking doing that.
I think he put it out as what did he put it out as? I think he put it out as an example of like something bad. I don't know.
He said this was a bad approach, which yeah, but
I get that.
After
but
like 5 times, there's
for so long. Yeah, like at that point, just it actually, like in my opinion, becomes harassment at that point. Like,
yeah, it's too much for sure.
So that's the concept of plowing, which sometimes it is necessary, but sometimes it's harassment. You got to be able to understand the difference. You know, like when the girls are not laughing, they're not smiling, they're asking you to leave, or they're trying to leave. That's not time to plow.
Leave us alone, sir. We're tired of you. And eventually,
time to get the fuck away. Like I'll often, like if a girl's just clearly not having it, I often leave within like 15 seconds. Like I'll try a second, third time maybe to get them to open up. If they don't open, I'm not going to waste time with them. Like my time is my most valuable resource, and it's not going to be a positive interaction. So I just move on to the next one.
I don't know, like a negative, like I don't know, like negative energy or whatever. Like just like I don't know, like what's the point of that?
What do you gain from it except getting into a more negative mood?
Yeah, I'll just be like, all right, cool, cheers, whatever, just walk away. Sometimes I do a fucking little smart ass remark. Like fucking.
Yeah, I'm max level in World of Warcraft though, so.
At least I'm not a woman.
Oh my god! No, I'm just kidding. Oh wait, I will share.
Okay, what other questions do we have? What do you think? Okay, there we go. What do you think your close rate for cold approach?
That depends on a number of factors, like whether it's day game or night game and how picky I'm being. Like if you're approaching just any girl, just you're trying to talk to everyone, then it goes much lower, right? But if I'm only approaching girls that I actually am really attracted to,
oh, we signed a contract. I forgot.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
January 1st, 2022.
Ah, damn it.
So let's Let's get that PayPal sent.
Damn, I shouldn't have put in that time constraint on there. I fucked up. I overestimated.
Yeah, but whatever. It gave you a little bit extra leverage to push toward it. Dude. Coach Kyle on. Dude, Coach Kyle was cool. I met him in person. He was asking me how to like coach boot camps and stuff because he did mostly online stuff.
Yeah, he's cool.
I mean, that's a good sign that he's a legit coach, because he's not just asking how do I make more money. He actually wants to be a better coach.
Dude, he completely ghosted on me for like no reason. I really have no idea.
He's still
why.
never changed?
No. I don't know why. Because we were like super friendly. Like we would like chat fairly often.
Yeah, like I did his marketing back in the day. Like I made his lead pages for his course and for his like free book, helped him build an email list and stuff like that. And I've only had like good interactions with him personally.
Yeah, same.
Dude, you know what's funny? Alex, you're like the main collaborator in this entire space.
It's true.
You think so?
And you know, the RSD guys, they always used to talk about like collaboration, not competition. Collaboration. And they never collaborate with anyone. So it's like
That's
unless
true.
it's like a spiritual guru or something.
Yeah.
yeah, someone that
like a
doesn't
cult
compete
leader.
at all, right? Or someone's not in the same.
You really
league.
think I'm the main collaborator in this space? I feel like there's got to be other people who collaborate.
No,
more
dude,
than
it's for
No,
sure.
no one's even close. And it's funny because I actually, when we did our first interview, I told you I had a Google spreadsheet of all like the dating coaches to do podcasts with, and you asked for it, and you like hit them all up, and we're actually interviewing them all way faster than.
Oh,
than I
really?
ever did.
I don't remember. But yeah, I do remember. Yeah, you and I did a collab on my channel. Was like at the early stage. I was at like 12K when we first did a collab.
Oh, there's one other thing I wanted to say with how to protect yourself while dating. So I talked about the psychopathy thing, but there's one other thing, and it's girls that have, what is it called? The book about it is called Walking on Eggshells. They have borderline personality disorder, and that's when girls, if you can see the signs of it when they deify you and then they demonize you. So, for example, if a girl's like, and it's kind of hard to stop it too, because when the girl's deifying you, she's like, God, you're such a god. Oh my God, I love you. You're amazing. You're such a stud. Blah 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 blah. But then when they demonize you, that's when things flip so crazy and it's scary as fuck. And yeah, there's a book on it called Walking on Eggshells. You guys should read.
You guys want to invite this guy on for like a minute and just critique his profile?
Yeah, if you could show us your pictures.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
how like we can't know just psychically.
Yeah, you want to come on, dude? We can. Let me know in the comments, and if you want to, we'll shoot you a link.
Dude, I love critiquing photos. It's so easy too, because it's like always the same mistakes.
Kezia's British accent is so fucking sexy.
I mean, when she was younger, she was pretty hot
I think she's still pretty hot.
for her age, you know.
AG push pulling a girl that's not here.
Listen, you stay away from Kezia, AG, okay?
You know, for an older woman, you sure look good.
The negging is just built into his verbals.
Dude, anytime there's a girl that's slightly older than me, I'm always bringing out the like, oh, where's your cane? Is it in your bag somewhere?
Oh yeah, I do shit like that too. Alex, they're talking about Austen. Are you gonna come to my party
When is it?
next weekend? It's at it's in Wynwood. It's at that place. The market, whatever.
Your
the
birthday?
What?
What day specifically?
The 28th.
28th?
Yeah.
I could probably do that. My sister's graduating on the 29th, but yeah, I could do the 28th probably.
This is more important than your sister, bro.
True. And then yeah, next week having a barbecue. The week after that.
It's gonna be fun, dude. There's gonna be a lot of people there, I think.
Yo, I'll come if you come to my barbecue.
Where's your barbecue?
4 hours away from you.
there goes
I'll fly you out, Poppy.
There goes the Rochinat plan, dude. Like my friends have such a like. My buddy has a house in the Keys, and he's been like spending like 2 years trying to get me to go down there. He's like, bro, I got a boat now. I got a jacuzzi.
I'll buy your flight.
Yeah, no.
I'll buy your flight and get you an Uber Black to the airport.
Yeah. Am I gonna show you live approaches? I don't know. Maybe I could. My girlfriend's gonna be there, but maybe I could do some approaches with her. We have been talking
Threesome
about doing
game.
that, approaching chicks together. So maybe we'll do some of that.
Dude, you know black pill is actually good for guys because with the amount of people that fall into it, if you don't believe it, you have an inherent advantage.
Yeah, it just takes guys out of the dating game.
Yeah, we should promote it and make it go viral.
I feel like black pill is the equivalent of being fat as a girl. Oh man. How much does height matter?
Yeah, it matters. I mean, so what? I've seen short guys do well. Like being born rich is a great advantage. Yet plenty of people who are born poor ended up rich.
And bro, just
grow
taller.
Caps. That's what.
Just get some surgery.
I actually have a friend who got that surgery and he got 2.5 inches added.
And how comfortable is that?
It took him about a full year to recover, but like 1 month was like in a wheelchair. The next month he was in crutches, and then he started walking. And then basically a year later he can run and jump and stuff.
Being in a relationship is so cringe. Rest in peace, Alex.
Agreed.
How dare you bond with another woman on this planet?
I know.
The one life that you have. The sole purpose of life is to increase your leg count. That is the highest form of achievement.
I mean, scientifically speaking.
Do you guys still get the dopamine highs from banging the new chicks?
Wait, what was that?
Whatever.
Do you guys
still get those Dude, I could not bang or bang. It's largely similar to me. I don't really care.
Yeah. I miss those. I miss the dopamine highs I used to get from fucking.
If she's really unique, right? If it's like a girl that has something about her is very rare or unusual, her personality is very different, then that's pretty exciting. But that gets rarer and rarer over time.
I think I would get more of a dopamine rush like 5 years ago from being at 6 than I would now from being at 9.
I think I get more of a dopamine rush just like being in the club, like having a good time, just being like outgoing. Like that part is usually more fun.
I think now all my dopamine rushes come from like debating black pillars. My brain has been rewired in a really weird way, so that like things that used to give me dopamine rushes, like banging a hot chick, just no longer do it for me. Now I need to like debate some random black pillar about whether looks matter, like in order to get that same high. Like I'm fucking a chick. I'm like, I can't do this. I can't do this. She's like, well, what do you want? You want me to play with your balls? No. I need to go on my YouTube channel and talk to this random black pillar who won't show his face. Just give me half an hour. I'm going to kick his ass, and then I can go back to fucking you.
If that's something you're allowed to talk about, I'd be curious.
Dude, I was talking to Bradicus yesterday, and you were talking about this. Like he understands that the things that have happened in his life have made him chase like the lays and stuff, and he understands it, but it's still like the desire is still there, right? You can't get to like insane at game in terms of like hundreds and hundreds of lays without some sort of like, you have to have some weird thing that has happened in your life, or you have to be like on the spectrum, like super like insatiable sexual desire mixed with like high dopamine chasing brain type, or you have to have like your dad didn't love you growing up, or like your mother died, or just like sexual shame that you had to overcome. Like it's always stuff like this. It's kind of interesting when you think about it.
The threesome question. Yeah, she asked me not to share like our sex life.
Yep.
But yeah. let me leave
More than you.
Oh, the best wing I ever had was this guy named Kevin, and it didn't matter if I wanted to go out or not. Kevin would come over to my house and like kick me and like just bring me out. Like sometimes I'd be like, oh man, I'm not really feeling it today. I'm feeling a little bad of it. He's like, all right, see you soon. And I'm like, oh fuck, he's coming over. Just like busts in the front door, like it breaks into my room. He's like, all right, let's go. And I'm like, oh fuck, okay, I have to go now. And he was just super fun, super good vibes, funny, and we just had like a good banter together. And I think you just got to find someone that you have like it's almost like a marriage in a way. Just find someone that you like really get along with, who you know their jokes. And you honestly, another good thing is like complementary types of girls. So like you don't want to be competing for the same type of girl. I have this one guy in our group chat, the Alpha Circle. He's like, he only likes girls with epic asses, and that's more or less my type as well. And I'm like, fuck, like, I can't compete with this guy.
That's my type too. Yeah.
Yeah, but when you likes fatties, and that's perfect because so many hot girls have a fat friend, and then like you're good to go. Win-win. Like everyone wins in that situation.
Yeah, the guy with the photos, he sent me an email with the photos so we can pull them up.
Okay. Yeah, you got to find a wing that just loves metabolically unhealthy girls.
Avery's a good wing. I think we had a good time.
Well,
Avery's the right amount of like motivation. Like I don't know, like when I wasn't really feeling, it's like, come on, man, I'm not really feeling either. Let's just do a few.
And then the second one was a pull. So
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, dude, being a good wing is really underrated. That's why we get paid, AG.
Okay, let's pull up the photos. Okay.
Yep, I'm seeing reasons.
Okay. So
Can you zoom in it or make it full screen or
Yeah.
something? Hold on. Let's get rid of that comment. There we go.
Yeah. Well, I would
He looks
say
like he's taking a shit in his suit. That's for one. The quality could be better.
the quality.
That might just be the internet.
And also the
like some of it.
composition. He's just staring at a mirror. That's okay, but would be better is if you had that suit at like a wedding or a formal event, or you were speaking on stage with that suit on and you were smiling. Those would all be better.
That would look cool.
Selfies in general are pretty low value. Like you want to minimize the selfies, and especially if you're going to use the selfies, don't make it your first photo. Like it should be like 3 or 4, not number 1.
So the lighting is very unflattering. Just the lighting. There's
It's also
nothing good about the lighting.
only like a small part of the photo. Like the first photo should be very clearly you're the center of attention. It's not a selfie. Like if you took that same photo where he was the center and he was like, I don't know, like sitting or something or standing.
Making a toast.
Yeah, like that would be like a lot better. He's not a bad looking guy by any stretch.
He looks like he's in a bad mood, right? He doesn't look like he's enjoying himself. He looks like he doesn't want to be having his picture taken.
Okay, so the issue with this photo, it's way too dark. You can't see him. And this is just way too dark. Like you can't see him at all. Like there's nothing is visible. So this is nothing because you can't see
and a
him.
better photo than at that would be on the actual course. This is a much better photo. I like
This is the best one so far by far.
I'm actually, it's okay. It's better. It's too posed for my taste because he's staring directly at the camera. So this would be better if he wasn't looking directly at the camera.
But at least it's professional and the lighting's good and
the lighting is
his
okay.
outfit doesn't look bad.
The lighting is okay. It's not the most flattering lighting with his facial features. But yeah, I agree. This is the better one out of the bunch.
I think that one would probably get like a 6 out of 10 on photo.
This one looks like you're about to release an album of like sad songs.
For me, it looks like he's about to release his shit. Yeah, again, too posed. Like he's just like
I got stood up again on my date.
It's just too posed.
I tried so hard.
This
and
is
I
by
got
far
so
the best one.
far.
Yeah, I like this.
This is natural. He looks good in it. The lighting is decent. This should be his main one.
Yep.
And this should be in conjunction with the photo where you can clearly see your face.
Yes, which he doesn't really. I guess the closest to that would be this. But so the photos. So this photo should be completely removed. I think this photo should be removed as well.
Yep.
This one should be the main one. This could be number 2. Okay, it's a little posed, but that's fine.
It also just looks fucking sad. It doesn't look like he's not like blue steel and he's not like smiling. It just looks
this one
sad.
He looks like he has a negative affect. Like
I think this one
in a
looks kind
negative
of sad,
state
too.
in pretty much all the pictures. Except
I
for
would
the
only
back.
keep this one, honestly.
Yeah, that's the only one I think is actually good.
It's the only one that looks natural, and it's the only one where he doesn't look depressed. So you need like 3 more photos similar to this, like activity photos where you look natural. This guy could definitely do quite well on dating apps if he redid his photos.
Yeah, I think I like the red one, but again, he's looking at the camera. There may be other photos from that session. It looks like a good camera. So, dude, this is fun. We should have more people submit their photos. All right, everyone, email Alex.
No dick pic evaluations, please. Alex, didn't you say a couple months ago girlfriend was not interested in girls? What changed? How do you talk her into having threesomes? She's not bi. She's not interested in girls, but she likes the idea of the experience. So she likes, I don't know, the idea of like both of us like, I don't know, having our way with a random chick.
Would she be dominant over the other chick or submissive?
Nah, I don't know. She's like, she's fair. I don't want to like, I feel like I'm rapidly getting into like revealing her personal sex life, but she's fairly submissive. But yeah, I mean, also with like my fucked up neck, I can't really eat pussy much, and these random girls can.
Yo, do you wanna review my Instagram or the couple photos from it?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, cool. Here, let me. Oh god, dude, share. How do I share like a tab? Share screen.
Hey, what email question, please, Alex? I'm not BSing. I know Ravi and Gordon from LA. I met you. New York years. Time to you roasted those UMP mongers in that stupid video. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, we met. Yeah, I lose track sometimes with people. So,
all right. Can you see this?
Thanks, man. No worries. Yeah.
Okay. What do you think? What do you think of this photo?
That dog looks like he's about to have a sore butthole. No, I mean, It's okay, but like that sitting position is not like the most flattering for anyone because it just makes you look like kind of like a frog or something. The lighting is a little weird because only like it's hitting part of your face. And what I don't like about it is like it's kind of posed. You're like looking straight at the camera. But you know, a really good indicator is like how many likes a photo gets on Instagram. If you're not buying likes, is actually a pretty good indicator of how good it is.
That one's a lot better.
It's okay. Yeah. Again, also just kind of. I think that's like it's like in your photos, you're always just looking at the camera.
Yeah.
It's always like.
What about this one?
Yeah, that one's good. That's a good one. It looks like you're just doing something and someone took a picture of you, private jet, so it looks like you have a cool lifestyle. So yeah, that's a much better one.
Oh, this is bad. This is an old photo. So this one I should not be looking at the photo. I gotta stop looking at the photo at the camera then.
Wait, this looks like the guy that tried to break into my apartment.
Yep.
Like kicked him out. Yeah, that's good. That's social proof.
Yeah. I don't know. I have a bunch of like nature photos, but yeah.
You guys want to see you guys want to see what I think is a really good Instagram profile?
For sure.
Oh, let me find this. Okay. I had this guy on my podcast, but I think he really nails Instagram.
David's is good if you want harems because he's just doing like group photos. It depends what your dating goals are too, right?
Yeah. David's is very niche, but it's definitely there's a lot of social proof there for sure.
Lol.
Okay, this is like a different style, but I like this shit like this. Like this is like not nearly as polarizing as David's. It's more like just like DHV's like this is like a good photo. This is a great photo. This is a great photo. Like it just looks like this person was like such a badass life. And he was breaking down during the podcast what he had to do to get some of these photos. And it's like it looks really like
they look artistic.
Yeah.
Not autistic. They look artistic.
Yeah. But these are all like really solid.
Yeah. It's like the framing.
I feel like if every photo is looking away, it's kind of weird. I feel like there should be a mix.
Yeah. I think
it's photo he's like bending weirdly and looking away. And that there's only just the other person in the photo is only like the girl. There's never like group.
No, he has some group ones. He has like videos and shit. I mean, yeah, like
dude, I have a photo there too. Yeah, that's the Burj Khalifa, but it's from the like some rooftop. Oh god, dude, Dubai is the worst shithole I've ever been to in my life.
Really?
It's the worst place I've ever been.
Why do you say that?
Just culturally, like everything is a fucking nightmare. Like, you know how Vegas is a fun scam. It's like, you know, you're getting scammed, but you have fun there. Dubai is like an unfun scam. You know, you're getting scammed and it's not fun. Everything's short. You have to make a reservation for everything, even when there's no one there. It's like, it's super gay.
This is such an epic photo.
I mean, it definitely seems like whoever's taking the pictures is a pretty legit professional photographer.
What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take this photo. I'm going to dye his hair a little bit more blonde. And then I'm just going to put it on my Instagram.
Yes.
Yeah. I thought he has a good profile. There's different like styles. Like there's different, like, you know, there's some things that maybe I would personally do differently. Like, let me pull up mine. Like I have a slightly different angle. Like I use my dog a lot, which, you know, is good if you have a dog. So that kind of like balances out the douchebag factor of my profile. Because then like I have like shirtless photos, right? But then I balance it out with like really cute Rhaegar photos. And then like that's the social proof one. This is more of like a sexual one. I want to start adding a little bit more sexual spice and then balance it out with Rhaegar. And then like on a bike that doesn't belong to me, playing guitar that's not mine. Shirtless photo.
You got to up the quality of the photos. You have like an epic camera.
Yeah, some of them look like their iPhone.
These are all
like an iPhone 7.
These are all pretty much iPhone, yeah.
But yeah, I think an important point for people too is that the content of the photo matters more than the quality of the photo.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, my highest rated photo for dating apps is from my iPhone, even though I have like a $4,000 camera.
Alex, stop angry, and then
blank
super chat.
I'm grounded. Sorry. Oops. They pressured me into it. I didn't want to. Austen is a really good interviewer. He kept asking me questions, and I folded. I can't resist his perfect hairline.
Yes. Godlike hairline. Dude, I would give up my hairline for like 3 inches of height.
How tall are you?
5'9.5". If I could be 6 foot, that would be tight.
Yeah, well, I'm 6 foot. I'm like, if I were 6'3".
Must be nice.
If I were 6'3", then, you know.
I would give up both of your hairlines for my own hairline.
What do we get in return?
Nothing.
Alex, how is this fair?
It's not.
You're supposed to be the best collaborator in the space. When's the SJW coming? In 5 minutes?
Let me see.
We keep calling him the SJW. He probably has a name and he has other interests in life.
Imagine he's just like a super cool, normal guy. He's like, hey, what's up, guys? I'm actually a fan. Shut up, SJW.
Just a couple critiques here, but
I was just thinking maybe like, shut the fuck up, bro.
it's also, you have to like frame things in a proper way for a debate too. There has to be like, what is the topic and what results in winning a debate.
Yeah, there needs to be parameters. Yeah, he said he'll because I was like trying to understand what he wants to debate now. He said he'll just explain when he comes on.
I think Bernie's right. Like, I can't think of that many pickup coaches that I would consider good that are still active. Like, there's some that still have channels, but they don't post anymore. It's pretty rare. Yeah, there's you. I post infield. I don't think anyone
don't
posts.
I gotta
infield.
start posting.
Yeah, like 2 weeks ago, you started after a 6-month break. So,
oh, you started up again?
Well, he's been doing these. So,
oh, that's right.
I hope these count. Do these count as having a video up?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah,
Cool.
it helps.
Alex single-handedly saved my channel by forcing me to use StreamYard.
And then connecting it to your channel. You know what's funny? Like, now I have access to your channel. I could just like literally just, I don't know, stream to your channel if I want to.
Nice, dude.
I don't really know.
Start a video. What's up,
Computer and
Summerins? Today, Austen gave me this channel. Yeah, this is good. Especially, it depends on where you live too. In America, you're above average for sure. There's a site actually here. I'll pull it up while you guys are chatting. And this is cool too. So you can see for the guys that are shorter, if you should wear like little inserts for your shoes, and you can see what percentage of girls you would be taller than at different heights. So
yeah, I've done that as an experiment, and I didn't notice any difference when I was like 6'2". It was not noticeable.
Well,
to me.
dude, you're already 6 foot. So
yeah. I mean, so if you're like 5'6", it's probably going to make a difference to be 5'9".
Yo, I get this question all the time, and honestly, I've never ever looked into like penis enlargement. So, do you guys have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, you get a bath mate. Use it every day.
What the fuck is a bath mate?
It's like a thing that goes around your dick in the shower, and you have like a strap, and it goes around your dick. It's kind of like, think of like an air pump, but with water, and you put it on your dick, and then what it does, it creates like somewhat of a vacuum, and your dick is enlarging. Because 50% of your dick is smooth muscle tissue. So basically, you can work it out kind of like the gym. So you can do the bath mate, and then jelqing has been effective. I don't know about the stretching or anything, but personally, I'm fine with my dick, so I don't really.
Yeah, sometimes 3 inches is not even that small.
I did it for like consistently for a month when I was like 18 or something, and your dick is noticeably bigger. But I didn't do it long enough to get permanent gains. They say you have to do it for about a year to get like permanent.
I always
gains.
thought all that stuff was like such a scam, like making your dick bigger.
So the thing is, you're not gonna like take a pill and it's gonna be like, oh, my dick's 3 times the size, and now I can be a porn star.
Well, that's
if you do pop it around your dick, you could gain like an inch in length and then like an inch in girth if you do it consistently for a year with like jelqing and this other stuff. But that requires like 20 minutes a day of like work.
Interesting.
So I don't. It's not worth it for me. Just do no fap.
I mean, that has like nothing to do with penis size.
I know a lot of guys who's like, they say, I did no fap for 6 months. It has so many benefits. Like, girls are so attracted to me. And then I asked, so how many times have you gotten laid? Well, I haven't, but they're attracted. So that's good.
Yeah.
It's a helpful thing to do, but it's not a magic pill.
It's helpful.
It's called just waiting bias. Misweighting bias.
It's become like NoFap has become like a cult almost.
Yeah, there's definitely. I think the biggest part of it is to quit porn, which is tough. But dude, the biggest thing is get Custodio on your computer and your phone, and then your friend will literally see when you watch porn. It's like your accountability partner or whatever. Yeah, it just sends a blurred image.
Porn again.
It blocks almost everything, but then if you somehow manage to watch stuff, it takes like screenshots of it and it sends it to someone blurred, so they can kind of make out what you're doing.
I don't think watching porn is necessarily a bad thing. I just think beating off all the time is. Like, so what I used to do. So
it depends. What do you define as bad? Is decreasing the amount of gray area in your brain or the gray matter in your brain bad? Is like decreased pair bonding bad? Is like worse erections bad? Well, like, okay. You know, the number one cause of erectile dysfunction under the age of like 55 is from porn-induced erectile dysfunction.
But I think porn can have been like what I used to do when I was like kind of an intermediate game is when I had a date, I would try to find a porno of a chick that looks just like the girl I have a date with and watch her get fucked. And that would kind of put me in the mental headspace that I'm going to bang this chick. But obviously I would not beat off because that would ruin
it. This is called the any benefit fallacy. It's like, oh, there's one benefit. It's like, I got to be on Facebook because there's this one benefit, but there's all these other downsides to it. So like
But what are like, okay, so let's go over that. What are like some of like the downsides? Like for what we're talking about for someone who doesn't jerk off and doesn't watch porn religiously, like 2 or 3 times a week, like using it the way I mentioned, where you have a date and you like watch a random video of a chick that looks like her getting fucked. Like what are the downsides?
Decreasing gray matter in the prefrontal cortex.
But has that been like scientifically established?
Yeah, and that's the part of your brain that deals with executive function and this type of stuff. And then you have hypersensitivity. So it's a hyper activation of dopamine reward pathways, which leads to a loss of dopamine sensitivity. So that's why a lot of porn users, like, music doesn't sound good to them anymore. Food doesn't taste good. Nothing gives them the same like reward besides porn. And then you have desensitization. So you need more and more of the same stimulation to provide arousal. So that's where people get like they get into really extreme genres of porn and stuff just to find a way to get off, right? But you're talking about moderate use. Moderate use, it just kind of slightly hurts your brain in those things that I said. But with anything, the dose is the poison, right? If you're jerking off 24 hours straight, that's an issue. If you're jerking off once a week to one scene of one girl, you're not getting that much sensitivity to it.
But with the gray matter loss, would that happen if you're just watching like random like Instagram posts and stuff like that? Is that just with like watching mindless shit?
That's a good question. From what I've seen, it says that like moderate porn use or moderate, I guess, because dude, Instagram and TikTok are basically like porn sites. So moderate use of that can do the same things. But like I said, it's just a matter of the dose makes the poison, right? If I eat wheat once a month, am I going to like die? No. But if I eat wheat every day, like the inflammation of my body is going to generate more and more and more, you know? Kind of like that type of thing. But it's weird, dude, because I kind of agree with you to a certain point. Because times in my life where I fucked the most girls, I have been jerking off the most. And it's weird. I'm not like coming when I jerk off, but it's like it puts you in this hypersexual state. And then it makes like fucking girls almost easier in a way. Is that how you feel? You think about it?
Well, I wouldn't jerk off. I would just so this was my ritual I used to have.
Ritual.
This is my 3-part ritual that's guaranteed to get you laid. Okay. The guy's on. All right. So let me add him. But let me first say this. Okay. So this is what I would do. I would sit in a cold shower and I would visualize myself fucking that chick, and I was not allowed to get out of the cold shower until I got a boner. That was like a rule I had. And you have to really clearly visualize something in order to get a boner under really cold water. And then the second thing I would do is I would watch a porno of the girl that looked very similar to her and would just try to help me visualize myself fucking the girl. But by the time the chick showed up, like my subconscious was like so focused on the idea of me fucking her that it was just like
Alex visualizes success. Be success.
I mean, there's definitely merit to it. All right. What's up, dude?
Funny enough, I had a ritual too, which was before I would go to the clubs, I would watch like 20 minutes of porn, 10 minutes of porn, but not jack off.
you came at the right time.
And then I would be, I'd be really motivated.
You guys need a couple minutes so I can come back. It seems like
you're good. You're good. You're good.
There's a reason why we don't put our cameras below our lap level. So.
Yeah. What's up, man?
Yeah, how's it going?
Okay. You good?
Yeah, no, we're good. So we were kind of talking on TikTok a little bit, and you mentioned, I think you said, so yeah, you're going to point out like some of the things that you disagree on. So yeah, I guess we can start with that.
Well, okay. So I just want to get the whole context.
Okay.
You posted a video saying that, like you wanted people to debate you.
Yeah.
And I commented on that video that I was happy to tell you why you were wrong. And then you messaged me, okay, so you down for a debate? So this is where little misunderstanding.
Okay.
What I'm totally down for that. What I was offering though was like just a conversation to point out like why you're making so many people uncomfortable and like what that sort of like whole thing is. If you just a conversation about that, I don't care what you think or what you feel about these kinds of things. It was just like for you to gain understanding of the like what their reasoning is, because they can't articulate it well because it's very emotional, right?
Yeah.
If what you want to do is have a debate, I'm totally down for that, but I would like it's going to be like a real debate then.
I guess we could talk about the video first, and then you could say your piece on that, and then we'll go from there, I guess, into different points. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I guess there was a little misunderstanding. So yeah, so I have a pretty good idea why people on TikTok.
Wait, what is the video? Can you set the scene or
set the scene?
The video was just like him saying like,
yeah,
somebody come debate me.
Yeah, it was basically like debate me, bro. Like it was like an open challenge to the TikTok community.
So why does saying debate me make people uncomfortable?
No, I think he's
talking about all of his other videos. Seems to be making a lot of people. This is a little bit of context. Austen, right? You said that like I seem to in that video. You said like I seem to be public enemy number one. That was right. So it was like, well, why do you think that is?
Oh no, I have a pretty good idea. I trigger a lot of people on TikTok. No, I have a pretty good idea on that.
But why do you like? That's what I'm saying. Like the why of like why are you triggering people?
I think my content brings up trauma that they have, and they are misinterpreting a lot of the stuff I say, and it's triggering their trauma, and then they lash out.
Sure. Yeah, I think that there's plenty of that.
They turn me into a boogeyman. I mean, a lot of it is like straw manning my positions. Like they argue against positions I don't even really hold. Like, you want to take away women's rights? No, I don't. Like that's not actually something I believe in. You want to take us back to the 1920s? No, I don't. Like I do not want to do that. So yeah, on that part, I'm pretty clear on. I guess what would be your idea of like a real debate? I guess
like it's a debate. Like we have a thesis or a premise of the debate, and you give an opening argument, and I give an opening argument, and then we debate that.
Okay. Yeah, I've actually never done. Okay, that's interesting.
Dude, this is bringing me back to debate class. This is great.
Yeah, forensics.
I've never done a formal debate.
Basically, what happens is the person makes their opening statement. It depends what the thing you're debating is, but he could make an opening statement, then you can make your opening statement, then he makes his response to what you say, and then you make your response to what he says. And then at the end, you give your final points.
Yeah, we kind of just go from there, and that part right there can be as long as anybody wants it to be. If you want to like have like 4 back and forths or 20, like that's excessive. But I've seen debates like that.
Yeah, rebuttals.
What do you think we should debate? Like, what do you think we disagree on, Joe?
Well, see, this is some part of the understanding. It's like I'm not arguing like agree like with you or disagree with you. It's like the way you're approaching a thing. I fundamentally agree that most people, even on like different political spectrums or different whatever, like we agree with more than we disagree with. It's just like the sort of way we approach these things and the way that we talk about them. I mean, it becomes like philosophical concepts at that point. And those things, and this seems to be not to like typecast you or anything like that, but you know what what thread of things you're talking about in, right? And you know what kind of guys sort of resonate with this, and like you could probably send down the Kevin Samuels and the Jordan Peterson, right? And these kinds of things. And like the sort of like, well, I'm just getting I'm public enemy number one, and like,
Well,
that,
why don't you bring up some things that you disagree with from Alex, and then Alex can respond to them after if you give your thoughts on them. Why don't you bring up one of his videos or something, if you can pull it up on TikTok or something, and
right?
Say what you disagree about it.
Well, again,
because then we'll have something to talk about. Otherwise, we're just kind of like talking about.
That's what I came on this to ask him if he wanted to have a conversation or a debate. And
no, I think a debate would be much more interesting. Yeah,
I do too. Like,
but usually what you do is more of a conversation.
Me?
Right?
Yeah, it's not really a debate usually.
Yeah, well, I've never done a formal debate, so that would be interesting to try. I've seen formal debates, so yeah. I mean, I understand what you're talking about.
If you want to do that on a specific premise, I would like to. That would be great.
Yeah, let's do. But I guess like the first thing we have to establish is what's a premise that we can do. Like, what is something that you and I disagree on? Because I don't want to argue against positions that like you don't hold or I don't hold. So we got to figure out something that you and I fundamentally disagree on.
And this is where this is just like there's a little still not quite lining up, but like the disagreement isn't the premise of the debate. The disagreement is inherent within the premise. So like, for example, we could use the premise of like, or the question. Debates are usually centered around a question. So like, what makes a good man? That's just like a very open-ended general question. You would then create a thesis statement, and I would have a thesis statement, and then we would state those statements. Like you get time. You ask me to debate.
But so, what if we agree on what makes a good man? Then how do we debate it? If you and I both agree,
you choose a different topic.
Yeah. Formal debates. That stuff of like what your thesis statement is. This is like a little into the the underbelly of it. But like people that usually debate, they share their thesis statement up front, like before the debate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
I share the thesis statement, and then I write a rebuttal, and you write your rebuttal separately. We don't share that, and then we begin with those opening like thesis statements. And then when you say your rebuttal, that's brand new to me. When I say my rebuttal, that's brand new to you, and then we go from there.
But we got to make sure the topic that we pick, there's something
right. That's what I'm saying.
We have disagreement on.
In the forming of that, we would.
Okay, so let's try to do that. So let's see what is like what is something that what's a topic where you and I would have disagreements. I mean,
that's what I just said. Like as the most general statement, it seems like you're trying to talk to a lot of people about like just what's a high value man or what's a good man. I think like these kinds of things, right? So like that's what I'm saying. Like that's a good starting point if you want to figure out the actual topic from there.
Okay, I mean, what is a high value man? I guess I'll just let you know. I think a high value man is a combination of external and internal things. So the external things like
this see more butts. We're on different pages with this. Yes.
Are we? I mean, I'm still confused.
I know. I'm trying to explain it to you in a way. So it's just what's confusing about this? Wait. Let me take a step back. If you wanted to do a debate, I would say, let's set a time today for like a week from now, and then we can exchange thesis statements inside of this week, and then actually have a formal debate at a later time.
I'm cool with that. Yeah, I know I kind of put you on the spot, so we can do it at a later date. I'm totally cool with that. But I think we still need to establish what you and I, like a topic that you and I have disagreements on.
Sure. And I don't think, hold on. Sorry. So I think we could probably do what then Austen suggested and just go through some of your TikToks.
Right.
And I'm sure we would find
the simplest way to go about it.
I'm down.
Hold on. Sorry.
They're like just dressed up like an absolute model.
What up, guys?
They changed how to find stuff. There we go. What's your name? Playing Fire?
Yeah.
Or Playing with Fire? There we go.
Yeah.
Say this if a girl tells you that she's not feeling you, person you can use on Tinder. The first one is this is
okay. So like,
for you, and then you insert something about her. So in this example, I said, dog.
Do you have one in particular that you were actually like studying?
This video, quickly just
like actually.
Oh, what do you think that? Do you think anything's wrong with picking up girls on the street.
Okay. Where? Do you know where?
Let's say
No, you
next
guys are
to a
in different
mall or
pages.
something.
Austin, you think you
Oh,
start?
no. Yeah,
Downtown.
I meant on the TikTok.
Oh no, I have no idea. No, I don't know if he has a video on it.
I don't.
But
I
it's
was
something
just
he
seeing what your
clearly does.
ideas are. You guys, you should also like just talk about this stuff here because then you could figure out
Yeah,
ideas
we
for
could
what
do
you
that.
guys
That's what I'm
have
saying. That's what I
your
think
one-on-one.
Yeah, I mean,
behind
like
closed doors.
I don't know, like how
This
familiar
is a
are
good
you?
idea. Somebody just said in the chat, set it up at the channel Modern Debate because he moderates it. That's a great idea.
Yeah, we can do that. But like I don't know, how familiar are you with my content, Joe?
I mean, I probably as familiar as you are with me.
I'm not familiar at all, in all honesty.
Right.
So.
I've seen I saw the debate one and I saw a few things that you said and I went, oh yeah, I could tell you why you're wrong. It just like, and wrong is just like an overbearing, kind of statement. But
So let's start with that. Yeah. So what are some of the things that you thought I was wrong about?
wrong is an overbearing statement, right? Why you're rubbing people the wrong way. That's what I would say specifically. Why some of the ideas you have might be right, but the way you're coming at them is like totally transactional, for one. It's like you promote transactional interactions between guys, like from men to women.
Okay, that's interesting. In what way?
Like your idea of like, hey, here's a good line to send to as many women on Tinder as possible because eventually one of them will respond to it. Like you're right. Yeah, that will get a response from it, but it's a transactional interaction that encourages like really low quality communication and really it has an impact that I don't think you see at all.
What's the alternative?
Genuine interaction.
But what is that? Like, what does that mean?
That's okay.
From my perspective, it seems like you're taking a moral high ground saying Alex is playing this like some kind of video game and he's detached from it and you're having genuine interactions. That's what it seems like.
No, I'm not interacting at all. I'm saying he is playing a game. That's not a.
Well, I would say
another thing is, let's establish game means meeting women in a efficient way. That's basically like kind of game. Game doesn't mean you're playing games with girls, right? So let's be clear about that.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, I would definitely say dating is a game. It's a game that men and women play, and if you don't play the game, you're not gonna
Sure.
get.
So I would say that's probably it's a misconception, but not necessarily the misconception that I'm like let's debate that. Like that's a very specific.
Well, the transactional thing, as you were kind of talking about that, I feel like transactional is things that involve money, right? So the woman gives me time, I give her money.
Okay,
But
sure.
I don't encourage any kind of exchange of money.
So let's talk about that just like open-endedly for a minute. So transactional like interactions are like rooted in this. Like for you to like pull it to money is very. That's exactly what it is. The world is full of transactional interactions, and all of them stem from our system of having to have monetary value attached to so many things. Transactional interactions, though, don't build healthy relationships and healthy connections. They're transactional. They have, I give you this and you give me that. And if you don't give me that back, then we have a broken transaction and mistrust and things like that, or resentment and anger and whatever. Right?
Yeah. So my question would be, what is the transaction? What am I giving the girls? Just a witty one-liner, but I'm not giving her anything like tangible, right?
Yeah, right.
But what you just described was reciprocity, which is an inherent part of human beings and other animals.
No,
so you're saying that is a thing. Like, for example, the reason why that exists is because let's say you're a part of my tribe and I give you a ton of meat and I give you arrows and stuff like this, and then you never reciprocate, then you're not pulling your weight in the tribe, unless
Right.
there's some other issue like you're sick or ill or whatever, you know.
So that sort of transactional, right? That's a transactional reciprocal.
But that's only one part of human interaction. That's not the whole thing.
What you described, though, is like an unhealthy tribe. That's not
no, reciprocity exists for a reason. It exists because that's how we survived as a human species.
Reciprocity like that exists in the world that we're familiar with in like our day-to-day interactions.
It exists in other species as well.
That's not how actual tribes used to be built. Like, say, indigenous tribes in this country, on this land, were not built on reciprocity.
Reciprocity exists in every single human being on the planet.
Okay, so like that would be a great question to debate. Is reciprocity a thing that exists in all of us, or is it and
not only does it exist in human beings, reciprocal altruism especially exists in other animals. And that's why people debate, do animals have moral status? They do, because they have reciprocal altruism.
But what you described is not altruism. It's not reciprocal. It's just reciprocal. It's not altruism. Altruism, no, these are two different words. Separate them. Stop putting them together. Right? Altruism and reciprocity are two different things. What you're describing is reciprocity, and it's transactional. A scenario that would be different would be a tribe that was completely altruistic, and in that sense, you would like that offering.
So let's apply this to game. So, for example, in game, here's one way I would use reciprocity. I call it
about debates is you don't cut people off. But go ahead.
Yeah, the one part of game is that you give value. That's like a big thing of game, is like, I'm going to give value. I'm going to give her good emotions. I'm going to make sure she feels comfortable. I'm going to make sure that, she's cracking up, she's laughing, she's having a good time. And I'm giving value in other ways, such as, let's say I'm driving to the after party, or let's say I'm providing some, I'm hosting or something like that. So I'm giving value, and that makes her more likely to sleep with me. Now, I'm not saying that she has to sleep with me, but it makes it more likely. And that's the same way everything works in the world, right? If I really love someone and I spend a lot of time with them, they share love back too. So that's the way every good business runs. That's the way every good marriage runs. That's the way every good, it's just a law of the universe. That's my point of it. And that's how it applies to the game. So would you say that in game, I shouldn't make sure the girl has a good time because it could be on the edge of giving too much value, which makes her more likely to reciprocate back? Does that make it transactional? And why is transactional bad? Like, there's so many transactions that I do for, like, let's say business, or like if I buy something online, that it's mutually beneficial. Whereas the sum of the transaction is better than its parts, right? Let's say I want a Theragun for my hip flexors. I buy this, they're happy with the money because the money I gave them is more than what this costs. Sure. But then this gives me more value than the money I gave. Yeah. So it's mutual.
So there you said.
Why would that be a bad thing?
This is why, if we're going to do this, formal debate would be good. So you said a few different things. And let me pull it back to finish my first point, and then I can. Like a transactional and reciprocity at its core level can be altruistic or transactional, okay? In the way that you originally described it, that was purely with the tribe and the I give you meat, but what are you giving me? That's purely transactional. In those sorts of interactions, if that person doesn't give something to me, then your value or your perceived value of them will continue to like lower and lower and lower, right? Does that make sense? They're not supplying back on the transaction and they're at, right? So in an altruistic reciprocity, there is no expectation of return. And in a tribe that you just described, that is like the key part of a functioning tribe, is that there's no expectation of a return because the reciprocity is altruistic. It's in the interest of benefiting the whole. And knowing that if we just continue to benefit the whole, then eventually I will be paid back. Maybe it's not by that person who I directly gave the meat to, but it's by developing a better and better tribe with more and more resources, more and more ability, and that will come around back to me in some way. It's the premise on what karma is based on, right?
Yeah,
I do good for the
agree.
world, it will come back to me eventually. But if I do good for you, like for example, Austen, you like say, hey man, you know, I need $10 because whatever, you know, I don't think you will, but like just as an example. And then I give you that and I go, hey, where's mine? Where's mine? Where's my, like, then that's a transactional based, right? The reason why that these are problematic and the reason why that this has become such a bigger issue in modern world, which I know can, for people like who just shared the comment, I hate college lectures. Yeah, it's a lot of thinking and it's a lot of ideas and you got to process a lot of things. It's not simple. It's a lot of nuance. Okay. So the reason
And
why
with your tiny commenter brain, you can't understand it.
it's just, you know, it's a reactionary thing. So we can open our minds and respond to things rather than, oh, I hate this. Then you can hate things and whatever. So, and it is.
Dude, you remind me of me in like 2014. It's very similar.
Okay. So the implications of like a purely transactional thing, like you described some product, I don't know what that was, but I buy that product, they give me the thing, I give them money, everybody goes their separate ways. Great. There are consequences or implications that go on behind that transaction that created them the ability to provide that product that transaction doesn't address. So let me use a different example because I think it'll be easier to grasp the head or wrap heads around it. Like we all go and buy gas for our cars right now, right? I put $20 in the thing.
I charge my Tesla at home.
Okay, so lots of people buy. Yeah, great. So people throw $20 on, you know, in the thing and get $20 of gasoline back, and that's an even transaction, right? But the implications behind the scenes of that are like the things like BP spilling 150
Negative externalities.
What'd you say?
Negative externalities.
Sure. Yeah. In a general sense, all of the negatives behind the scenes of that. So the reason why those transactions eventually break down a single tribe or a large collective tribe, right, is because we don't bring those like sort of external implications into the transaction, right? So if BP in this example,
You should take it back to game, related to game, because our audiences are all about game, or like girls.
Sure. I will try to do that. So I know how to do that. Okay, but just to finish that. So if BP were being altruistic, or any of these companies doing any of these, like, you know, things that we all provide, all these things that it would be in everyone's best interest to make sure there weren't any negative environmental impacts or no like emissions that would affect us collectively, that they're not manipulating the markets to run up charges and things like that. But those aren't there because it's not it's not altruistic reciprocity. It's just purely transactional. To bring it back to, you know, the game and men and women, this is the core of why women don't trust men. This is the core of it, is because so many male to female interactions are just transactional. And this is what I'm saying. It's like, I'm not even accusing you of just being purely transactional, but this is the reason why in the most general sense, we can break down the nuance of it, but in the most general sense, women don't trust men because men are only doing things to sleep with them.
Well, some men are, yeah, not all men.
I just said that. Not all, but this is in a general sense why women collectively, in general, don't trust men collectively. Why we get these phrases right now that are like all men. Yeah, all men are monsters and all of them are bad and all of these kinds of things. Women are saying these things because so many women are conditioned to have only transactional interactions that have implications and these things behind the scenes that are never brought to light, and that, in a lot of times lead to things like date rape or abuse.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the transactional thing, it happens definitely on the chick's part as well. The whole
you seem to be implying that women are less transactional.
Women can be quite transactional.
Women are less transactional.
So what's the argument for that?
The women are more like, it's just, I mean, this is like way back into the, like, I would say stems way back from like hunter and gatherer shit. And like, obviously we're looking at gender roles as a society and different and things like this, but women are more social creatures, whatever. The fulfillment of life comes from more of those things. Again, in a very, very general sense, comes in from more of like social engagement than it does from the products of transactions.
So, I mean, as one example, women are more likely to ask for a man to buy stuff for them, like on a first date, to pay for the date. That's literally transactional. And then they're far more likely to, in terms of divorce, they're far more likely to try to take the man's money. And then there's also like other types of transaction, like, for example, friend zoning a guy and saying you're getting his attention, even though there's a miscommunication between what the two of you want. Like, there's many different types of transaction where you're trying to get something in exchange for something. I don't see why men do that more than women.
Men don't do
I would also say, what about the fact that women like sex too? Like, my roommate and I banged these two girls. We've been like hanging out with them for 2 days. They just flew to New York today, and they're going to the first thing they're going to is the sex museum.
Women like sex too, and women can also just like interact with men for sex. Like, that's not. Let's stick with Hayden. Can you say what you said again?
There are many examples of transactionalism that would apply to women. In many cases, more than men.
Yeah. Sorry, I just had to remember 80, whatever. So a couple of those are cultural, right? So the reason why like women, like we've just established these things as like cultural norms, right? So the reason why men pay and things like this and things like that, like we've established that as through our culture. Okay.
I doubt that's true.
Yeah, it's very much not. That's okay. Sorry, that's very distracting thing.
Sorry. Who put that comment up? That wasn't.
It wasn't me, but let me debate these three idiots. Let's go.
No, I think. Okay, wait. Well, let's kind of take a step back.
So some of that is cultural, and like the reason why men pay for things as like a culture, why we've established that was done by us. Like men established that as a cultural norm through like the 20s to 50s.
But is men's transactional?
Bro, that leads up to another debate. You're saying like it's a cultural thing. I don't know if you're one of those people that believes culture dictates everything, but there's an entire like 500-page book by Steven Pinker where he basically explains how like genetics play a huge role of this stuff. And they say genes keep culture on a leash. So the expression of culture is expression from genes.
Yeah, that's an interesting idea. The way that I would look at it is I'd say culture is like a literal culture, like a petri dish, right? You're familiar with like what a petri dish is?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So culture is like a petri dish, but then individual interactions and like the things like that are not necessarily dictated by the petri dish, but they are like sort of they're mixed into all the same thing, right? We have a distinct culture in the United States that blends in quite a bit with like North America, right? Canada and the US, like there's not a huge difference in culture, right? But there's a huge difference in India or Japan. So it's like a little petri dish. And what I haven't read that book, but like the genetics of it would be like taking that petri dish and dropping, a bacteria or a thing like that in it. How that individual bacteria grows is way more dependent on its own individual genetics but the sort of implications and like the external and like extreme limits of where it can go is defined by its petri dish, its culture.
I would say it's very difficult to know whether something's cultural or genetic because they're constantly playing with each other. They both are always relevant, and it's very hard to say this is cultural and this is genetic.
The chat is like hardcore zoning out. So I think we should because the chat is like on the verge of killing themselves. I think we should schedule because Joe, let's just schedule a debate, agree on a topic, and then we'll just do that.
So just Hayden, cultural would be collective and genetic would be individual. So how the individual plays out their life.
Write that down, Hayden.
Versus how the whole culture plays out on a macro scale. Does that make sense?
Sure, there's a difference there, but cultural still is always, culture is affected by our genetics. Our genetics lead to culture.
Again,
and vice versa.
Sure. Just like every individual is part of the collective and the collective influences every individual.
Yeah.
There's not really hard lines between these things. There's not really hard boundaries. We're within a culture. We're living inside of it. We're saturated in it. There's no escape from it. That being said, my fucking individual life is determined by me. Doesn't matter what the cultural is, right? But again, if I go to India and I'm born in like the bottom tier class, it doesn't matter what I do as an individual. I'm in that class system. They're never going to look at me as anything but.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, so yeah,
that's something that I think could be its own whole debate for another time because that's a very complicated topic.
I think the debate should be whether
class system. Yes, it is a complicated topic.
No, I don't want to go on like an extreme side tangent. I think the debate should be about transactional, whether I encourage transactional.
I think that's great. That would be great. Yeah.
Joe, you should look up Fresh and Fit podcast when you go home. That's more. It's more of what you're talking about. I feel like Alex is pretty balanced, but the Fresh and Fit guys, they're literally like, I pay the bills, and then she give me the pussy.
Right? You're not going to be a fan of that, Joe. I can
tell that I'm not. No, and Alex, this is like the part of just like on a personal note. What I did scroll through and see or whatever is that I don't think you're like very far out there or whatever, which is why I'm like agreed to talk to you. I wouldn't probably even want to have a conversation with those guys, right? But it's not about right or wrong, in my opinion. It's about like what we're doing with an opportunity, right?
What sense?
In the sense that like I developed myself a platform on TikTok. You've developed yourself a platform on TikTok, on YouTube, right? That inherently, like we have an opportunity to talk to people, to connect people. We have a pedestal, really. It's a literal platform that is sort of above. I don't know. I posted a video yesterday because I saw some other video referencing like the national park system and how E. coli is affecting people because people keep pooping out in the woods at national parks, right? So that's a weird thing to me that I saw. So I just posted a video like, hey, some expert tell me why this is. And like in 24 hours, I had some expert that saw my TikTok video explain to me exactly why that was. Like, that's a pretty cool thing. That's an opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, but my goal is not to, to give the most public good or to appeal to the most people. My goal is simply to give tangible, practical dating advice. And whether that resonates with...
What I want to appoint you, like, put your awareness towards is like the negative implications that some of this advice is like creating, and that it really, if like your
I think
that's like the opposite of the sum benefit. It's like literally everything that you do in life can have a negative externality.
Well, I think
I can't name a single business, a single charity, a single person that hasn't done anything bad. It's like everyone's done something bad. The question is, on net, is it a good thing? What Alex does, he's literally helping millions, I don't know millions, but hundreds of thousands of guys improve their relationships, meet girls that they like, and then those girls get to meet guys too. Because believe it or not, there's a lot of lonely girls out there as well. So
wow, I've never. Okay, I know you're just like that's fine. I'm not gonna. It's not that I'm saying it's not, helping. It's or maybe there are interactions. Or
my argument would be that it's a like so drastically positive thing that looking at small little externalities, you got to keep in mind too. Our audiences, they're often too shy to talk to girls. They're not like some fucking beefed up Chads like, dude, let's get my fucking notch to 5 million today, right? They're like just guys that want some fucking help, right?
Right.
They're like sad boys at home with low T trying to get some pussy.
And encouraging like purely transactional.
And dude, well, here's the thing. You meet people where they're at.
But you got to stop cutting. It's really,
You're cutting me off.
Well, I was talking.
When I'm talking and then you come in and interrupt me, that's you.
There's also a lag. It's a stream,
Let's just go one at a time. Okay. Wait, stop. Okay, go ahead. Okay, who's talking? Joe or
So my final point is that it's the stuff that we're saying. You're going to point out one little negative thing. Who gives a fuck? Like the vast majority of what we're teaching is an insanely positive thing, and it's helping people heal their pain. And also, you meet people where they're at. Let's say someone in the beginning, all they want to do is get some girls. Eventually, the process goes like this: you get good at getting girls. Then you fix your own shit and your own problems, and then you get good with like dealing with other people in general. So it's a process that people go through. And I think it's an insanely positive thing. And if you could pick out one little negative thing, well, this one girl that you said this one line to, she felt uncomfortable. Okay, so what? It's a question of net good versus net bad. You can't just calculate, like you could calculate in a certain way, like the fucking, what's it called? Categorical imperative. One bad thing, you can't tell one lie in your whole life.
All right,
or you can calculate net good utilitarian.
Let's respond to that. Go ahead.
Okay. So the idea that it's one small negative, like externality, that's what I would argue, like you're wrong about. It's not one small negative. It's a very, very, very large negative. And the thing that you're sort of like trying to encourage men to do and try to like that the positive you're creating is going right up against like that negative.
Oh, I would hardcore disagree with that.
Yeah, what you just said was one of the most stupid things I've ever heard said on this show.
Right.
You're saying that what we're teaching guys to do, aka, here, you need to get enough confidence to go tell a girl she looks cute, and then from there you have a conversation with her. So the thing is, you're so disconnected from what you're trying to critique that you don't even know what you're talking about. Like you haven't seen a program where I take a guy who can't talk to a girl and I have him have a conversation with a girl. You haven't seen what that looks like.
I haven't seen it, and that's not
because what you're saying is so clearly from a point of view of complete ignorance that it's obvious to everyone, the hundreds of people watching, all three of the guests here. Does that make sense?
I mean, I would just say I disagree with that premise. I think the only negative is
that would be a good premise to debate then.
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Okay, let's make that the premise then. Let's make it whether my content creates has substantial negative externalities to it, or it's just extremely minor.
You can clean it up a little bit, but in general,
I think that's the most interesting one out of the bunch. I like that one. Okay, I'm down with that.
Okay, I'll message you. We'll figure it out from there.
Okay, yeah, we can do like next weekend or something if you're cool.
Sounds good. All right.
All right, cool.
All right, I love you.
Take care.
I love you too. Take care.
All right.
Yeah, this is my. So he's definitely like me back in the day. Like someone put mental cell. It's like he's not crazy. He's just very stuck in these ideas, and he also has a superiority complex that he's trying to get over. Talking to us, like he'll slip those little things in.
So much condescension, like that's the part that bothered me. All the little condescended, like you don't need to add that. It doesn't help the conversation.
But here's the thing: in his head, because I've been there, he's like, "But I'm right though." But he's making an opinion. Like what I said, I nailed it on the head. He's saying something. He's trying to make an opinion about something and take the moral high ground about something that he has no clue what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like he does overcomplicate, but I guess he's talking about like a formal debate. I've never done it.
But also, if you listen back to what he said, he made maybe 1 or 2 points total. He was very bad about making a point. One point he said was that women have trust issues with men, and they believe that men are bad because men want to have sex. It's like that's the innate wiring of men is to want to have sex with a bunch of girls.
I mean, I was definitely
that's not
zoning
the
out
only
for, like-
reason.
for,
Alex,
like-
when you're with your girlfriend, is that the only thing? You're like, oh, finally, I could have sex again. Or do you like enjoy hanging out with her and cracking jokes, and you have similar interests? And it's like,
the chat was going crazy. They were so bored. Like there, at one point, someone was like, "Hit one if you want Joe to leave," and it was like literally just like a sea of ones. So I was trying to be conscious of that. But
It was a lot of. It was very.
what was the other
pseudo-interaction.
point that he made? Did he make any other point? He said that what you advocate is transactional because someone gets both people benefit off of something, but then there's some externality that you don't know.
Yeah, I disagree with that.
Did you have a great time tonight? Yes, I had a great time tonight. But what? And then Joe's like in the bushes. He's like, but they don't know the negative externalities of the child that was born that night.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I disagree with the premise that like my content has some kind of like significant downside. I think the only way my content could have a downside is if people misinterpret it. But any piece of content can be misinterpreted. Like there's no direct negativity to it.
And you cannot name a single job in the world that doesn't have a negative implication to it. Oh, at the hospital, saving lives. Do you know how much fucking plastic? It's like 20 pounds of plastic per day or something per person in the hospital. Also, a lot of the medical establishment, they're just pill pushers, and they don't actually look at the root causes of things. It's like literally everything that you can look at.
Psychiatry is a huge example of that. Like a lot of times people with depression, they go straight to the pills, but they never work on their diet, work on their fitness. Like they have a shitty life where they're watching TV all day. There's plenty of other factors.
My dog keeps wanting in and out.
Should we so this guy said a lot of direct negative. Should we have him on? But he's actually been on my channel before. He's pretty chill.
Sure.
I have a date right now, so I have to head out. But
look at you.
AG, these black pillars never have dates. That's why they can debate us all day. Come on, bro.
Dude, what you think getting laid is more important than arguing with random people on the internet?
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
Dude, this is honestly true. When I was actually a tri-state debate champion, believe it or not. I don't know if you could tell by my autism spiking there, but yeah, like I was a debate champion, and it's such a bad mindset to be in. Because when people say things, you're not like listening and then just trying to like increase the vibe. You're listening and like mentally taking notes about how you can destroy them. It's like a really weird mindset to be in.
I'm scared another Joe is coming. I just kind of got bored. I don't like it's just.
I was just rambling and it wasn't cogent. That's the thing. In debate, you want to have like good word economy as well, so it like leads back to the thing that you're trying to talk about.
He's like a writer that's using a thesaurus constantly. Like, what's the biggest word possible? But you're not actually making your point. You're just trying to look smart, and that bothered me. Like, he's just trying to seem smart.
But listen, dude. See, this is the thing. I kind of have empathy for him too, because that probably is something that happened in his life, right? Maybe he felt like out of control at some point in his life. Maybe he was talked down to. Maybe he was bullied, and then this is the way he can have that feeling of superiority or that feeling of like. Importance, right? That's why I don't really feel bad like the guy that makes hit pieces on everyone in the industry. I don't feel bad because I know his background, so it's kind of sad, you know.
The only thing is, I felt bad because it was like a 3-on-1, so I didn't want to like. That's
yeah, that's kind of
it wasn't entirely fair.
Yeah,
But
that's.
now it'll be 2-on-1 in a second. So
who hurt? I was kind of laying back.
Who hurt you?
What's up, dude?
All right, I'm on.
You're on.
All right, no doubt.
Can you put your camera on?
Can I put my camera on? Yeah, but I gotta set it up. Give me like a minute.
How are we supposed to masturbate to your face if we can't see it?
I don't know, man.
What's
They
your name,
got
Cutie?
some white guys here. I'm pretty sure they already have enough to masturbate to. What was I saying? So I mean, I guess overall, I mean, I think more so to Alex. I just want to say that I don't know. I do think 3-on-1 is kind of unfair. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, I just said that. I mean, I was literally just established that. That's why. Well, first of all, there's more to it than that. I actually messaged him. I said, "Hey, it's 3 people, so just so you know. So I don't know if you want to come on a later time." And he was like, "No, I'm cool with it."
All right. Oh, he signed up for that then. Fuck that.
Yeah, but even despite that, I showed massive restraint, and that's why I like chilled out. I didn't talk much, if you noticed, during that whole thing.
Yeah, no, I feel you. Oh, all right. So for direct negatives, and again, I think like understandably, you're speaking from your experience of I know my coaching, I know what I do, but we're talking about TikTok, 30-second videos and all that stuff. Like, can you agree that even if you do good with the people that go through your sales pipeline, that your TikTok videos can be or have negatives to them
Well, what
just
are the
because of
negatives?
30 seconds? Just because of 30 seconds. That's the only reason.
Well, you have to tell me what the negatives are.
Okay, I think what's my personal negative? I was gonna tag team with the other Joe guy, but one personal negative for me is kind of the transactional stuff. Like it's a little bit like you even though it is just to meet people, like it still doesn't really create genuine connections pretty much, which I mean, if that's not what you're looking for, that's fine. But there's a lot of tactics, a lot of stuff on top, a lot of things that are like
Well, what's the direct negative to someone using a flirty one-liner?
what's the direct negative? A direct negative is I forgot the line, but it was basically what happened with routines, RSD, stuff like that. Like it's just everywhere, and now it's a bunch of weirdos saying the same one line, and that's kind of just a weird thing. Though I have a bunch of people saying the same line, and it's like, wait, why is this guy saying it? And also, too, the direct negative is it lessens the effectiveness of that line over time if everybody's using it.
That's definitely true.
Yeah, but then I guess you have to look at the alternative. The alternative is those guys wouldn't be talking to girls at all.
No, I disagree with that. I think a lot of people would find another line.
Right, but then they're going to be overusing other lines. Like people who want to use lines are going to use some lines. So if they're not using my lines, they're going to use other people's lines, right? So I don't see that as a negative. Like the negative is like it's hurting somebody. Like who is it hurting if these dudes are like, using these little one-liners that they see on my TikTok? Like who's it hurting? It's not hurting the girl. It's not really hurting them.
I think it's my fault.
It's a victimless crime. It's like smoking weed. It doesn't really hurt anyone.
Well, I also say to the you're saying about the being genuine with someone.
Yeah,
I think Alex and I both teach mostly like in AG2, we teach like the principles of why game works, and then you just put your own personality, you inject it into the game. So it's like that's more or less what we teach. Now, for complete beginners, you have to give them something to say because they're not going to be able to improvise something off the bat, right? So it's just to get them started, and then over time you develop your own kind of system. So I'd more or less agree with you, but if you because there are people for sure that have like completely scripted things, and I think that's whack as fuck. Like imagine going your entire life, the only time you can have sex with a girl is if you memorize like a 3-hour script. It's fucking weird.
Yeah.
I more or less agree with
that back in the day.
No, I agree. I agree with that. Yeah, like I would say 98% of my content is not scripted.
Okay.
98% of my content has nothing to do with scripted or anything like that. But you do like I guess the stuff I was thinking you were talking about was like the openers. I give like 3 openers you can use, and that's more to give guys ideas. Like if you're really stuck on an opener, you can send this opener. But it's not like I'm going to give you like the exact script of the conversation. I never do that. Even if you buy my product, there's no script. I don't give you a script to say this after this. It's all teaching you the principles of flirting and banter and going for the date. But yeah, like on TikTok, I have like 3 funny, but it's just to get the conversation started. So again, I don't really like, I'd be hard pressed to see what exactly is the negative of someone like, I'm stuck on an opener. I don't know what to say. I'll say this opener. Okay. That this guy says in his TikTok, like that doesn't really seem like it's hurting anybody.
Well, I mean, I think it more, with the opener things, it's dependent on the guy, but it can be like a crutch, and it's sort of, for example, the line I was thinking about before was you have a cute Bugs Bunny overbite. I know people that just say that like over and over, have nothing to say, and they just keep on saying it. Like they don't. And it's hard.
Really? You know multiple people who say that? That's crazy.
Yeah, it's dumb. It sounds like they looked at a YouTube video. They got the info, and they're just applying that when they run out of things to say. And I can't say that that's necessarily your fault for a person just being that like boom boom. This is the line. but I think there could be more done to teach like somewhat a little bit like nuance, like okay, it's this situation, like you should look out for these things, like
Well, I do that. All that stuff I do. Like I do, but on TikTok, I get 30 seconds. So I can't teach nuance in a 30. It's the nature of the platform. So I have to make very short form content. But the only person they're hurting, if anyone, is themselves. But like you can make that argument for anything. Then you could say that YouTube is hurting people because if you spend all day on your fucking screen, you could go blind or something like that or hurt your eyes. So you can make the argument for anything. But like I think for there to be direct negatives, it's got to be hurting other people and not just a person who I guess sees one of my openers and just starts to spam send that to every girl. Like the only person he might potentially be hurting is himself, but he's not hurting anyone else.
He's hurting himself, and not you directly because people don't quote you, but like the effectiveness of that line. So like the guys in general can't use that line anymore because shit, everybody, the girl will be like, this hasn't happened to me, but I'm just saying in general, like there could be a situation where a girl is like, I heard that Bugs Bunny overbite line 3 times tonight. What are y'all doing?
That's actually not happening because my channel's not popular enough. So a lot of people ask me like, oh, is the Hate Trouble opener played out or can you still use that? And the answer is yes, generally speaking, because I'm just not 100,000 all across the world is nothing. Like there's just not enough. If I had millions of followers, I think you can make that argument. But
also, girls aren't going to keep a tally of every single open.
I'm not popular enough to for one girl to be getting like multiple messages. So everyone right now can mass send all my openers, and there wouldn't be enough overlap because people are just so scattered across, and the dating marketplace is just so large, and my following is so relatively small compared to
that. And who remembers like their messages? Like if some I don't remember what girls messaged me like yesterday versus like a month from now.
So back when the game was popular, I actually did use the opener for a few weeks. Who lies more, men or women? And I thought that was really cool, really special. And I did have a couple of girls be like, "That's the 5th time I heard that tonight." So back in like many years ago when the game was really popular, that could be an issue with canned material. But there's no canned material that is popular like at all anymore.
I mean, 100K turns to 200K, turns to 300K. It's possible that it could happen.
It could, but we're not talking about coulds. We're talking about is's, things that have
probably
happened.
Rare.
It hasn't happened. But also another thing is like I don't see it as completely negative. Like a guy, he's not sure what to say in an opener. So most guys, when they're not sure what to say, they don't say anything at all and they just hesitate. So they get a few ideas and maybe they message my opener to 20 girls and one girl's like, oh, I heard that already. And then he comes up with something new, right? So then he learns his lesson, but it helps him get his foot in the door. It helps him get the process going because he's just stuck on ideas. And maybe because I give him an opener, that leads him to come up with his own opener, right? So I think I don't see it as a negative, even if the girl heard it before, because it's going to help get his creative process going. I'm not saying you have to use this opener. I'm just saying here's some ideas if you're stuck on what you can say to get the conversation started, which is better than not saying anything at all.
No, I got you. I mean, have you heard of the term like corny, like something that's played out pretty much? Like, that's. But I won't teach any corny lines. I mean, every line is corny if it's used enough, pretty much.
Right, but then again, like I'm not popular enough, so my lines have not been used enough. That's the thing.
Okay.
Like I've done experiments where I've in my own city of Miami where I've created Tinder accounts as profiles, and I didn't get one of my openers ever back to me. Like I thought that, I'm gonna have like 50 hate troubles. There was 0, and we've done this experiment so many times. It just the scope is just like we're just so relatively small compared to the rest of the dating world.
I could see that. That makes sense. I guess it's more for me. It's more like cautionary. Just like it's just like because I see it all the time with like because I used to follow a lot of other like pickup guys. Like what was the guy's name? Black guy, kind of fat. Had like a little bit of a lisp. I forgot his name. Justin Wayne. Like Justin. Yeah. Justin Wayne. RSD. Sometimes a lot of the times, like I've seen like people like come up, and then it's like. They still operate like they're small guys, and then it just makes things weird. And there's stuff along with that, like maybe RSD was too aggressive, they didn't market their stuff right, whatever. But like I just see that happen all the time where it's like if you get to a certain point, your message is just going to get to people that you don't want it to get to, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Well, there's
if
no
it's not
one
working correctly, then it's basically going to be detrimental to people across the board.
Well, there's no one out there who I don't want my message to get to. I'm comfortable.
Really?
I'm comfortable with anyone over the age of 18 looking at my content.
That's crazy. I mean, so you would tell somebody who is like borderline autistic that might not be able to think of social stuff to just say your lines over and over, and they're not going to think of new lines because they're borderline autistic. Like they can't think of social stuff to say. You want that person to say it.
It's better than them not doing anything. Yeah, maybe they'll strike out with some girls, but at least they'll get some girls. It's better than the alternative, which is either the other dog shit dating advice that exists, which is worse than mine, or them not doing anything. Yeah, I totally would.
I mean, to a certain extent, if we're talking about the borderline autistic guy, sometimes it's better if that guy like either self-improves, do something like gets more stuff before it just goes out and just spams lines and all that stuff. Because,
but I'm not advocating people to spam lines. I think the what's it called? The borderline autistic people, the only way they're going to become less autistic is practicing social interactions, and they need to get their foot in the door. And especially for people who are over analytical, they need something to fall back on so they can feel confident. Starting talking to girls, right? And that's what I'm facilitating. I'm helping them get that fallback line. Because a lot of these borderline autistic guys, they're just going to sit there, look at the screen for half an hour, and then they're not going to come up with anything, and then they're going to fucking rage quit. Like, I think the alternative, which is them overusing some of my lines, is a lot better.
Online. Well, that's another thing, too. We have to differentiate online and in person. Online, I have to give it to you. It doesn't matter so much, but in person, that's a whole nother beast.
Well, but that's the thing. I don't give guys lines. I never give pickup lines to use in person. That's like not something I've ever done. In person, I always advocate just saying what comes to your mind, not like having some kind of like magical opener. So
that's the misunderstanding then, because I see Alex playing with fire, and I know it's like a lot of online stuff, but I lumped you in with a lot of red pill / pickup guys.
Yeah, there's no video that exists of me where I say, hey, use these pickup lines in real life. That doesn't exist.
I have a video like that. But yo, my video, it's not specific. It's like a formula for the open. So it's like, I call it ACII, attention, context, intent, introduction.
That's a good video, yeah.
First, you have to give the girl's attention. Then you give context as to what you were doing. So you're not just some like random weirdo on the street, basically, to her. Then you give intent, so you're showing your intent that you're there for a particular reason, especially with girls that are walking by. Like if you don't show your intent, you come off super creepy. And then you give an introduction, so you show her that
you're not a line. You're just explaining how to come up with an opener.
Yeah, that's the difference.
Yeah, but I do have a default direct open. It was basically like, hey, I was on the way to whatever, say like to meet my friend for lunch, and then I saw you with your cute red shirt and your cute husky, and I wanted to come over and say hi. What's your name?
I got you.
Alex.
And then after that, usually I go into assumptions, or I do observations, or I do ask a question and then improvise off the question.
I think that's fine.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Some fallback stuff is okay. Yeah,
but I'm Q2 approved.
Yeah.
When we enter quarter 3, do you have to change your name? When we enter quarter 3, do you have to change your name?
Probably not. No.
Okay, so then going back that now that we've established I don't really do that for in-person pickup, then what are the negatives, right? Then
all right. So for online, negatives, texting, I think we kind of talked about this before, but like the texting from a blocked number thing, even though it was only one video, I think it does have like some negatives in terms of like the people that would do that, or the people that see your stuff might not be able to properly use it. They might just say, well, Alex said, if I get a number and she blocks me, I could just text from another number. I'm gonna do that without reading the full context. And I understand 30 seconds, but I think there's more to be done in terms of like establishing like, look, you can do this. There's a chance that it's annoying, bad, whatever, but there's also a chance that it works. And I would say, I guess, present both sides of it.
Well, I do that in the video. I say, I know this sounds kind of creepy, but sometimes it works.
Kind of creepy. I guess there was more negative.
But just because someone could misinterpret and use it to harass girls, that's like saying, well, hardware store is guilty when they sell a hammer because someone could use that hammer to hit someone on the head and kill them. Like, just because someone can use a hammer incorrectly doesn't mean the hardware store is guilty. Just in the same way, just because someone could use that to stalk a girl doesn't mean I'm guilty, because that's like so clearly not what I'm teaching.
No. I'm not saying, like, for example, if like somebody's like trying to hit on their like biological sister, I'm not saying you're contributing to that because you're giving them tips on dating. I'm not saying that. That's not even the point.
We don't do doggy style because you never turn your back on family.
Oh shit. But like what I'm getting at more is like there's I forgot my point because that was a killer, Austen. You got
Dude, just admit it. There's no negatives. Just admit it, bro.
I think what he said is true, though. If you use lines too much, and they can come off as disingenuous.
Yeah, I agree with
if
that.
Someone's super autistic, they shouldn't be spam approaching for sure.
Yeah, but I don't teach spam approaching, nor do I teach over reliance on lines.
Yeah, I think what you said was pretty reasonable.
Yeah, it is. It's just,
and you're not like a mental cell like our other guest.
No, I mean, I could be. Do you want me to just over-explain stuff?
I want you to over-explain things and loosely tie them back to the point we're on.
So the point I was making about Jesus is that
Jesus was like a prophet, and that has to do with game because he had to game girls and Mary and Joseph.
Dude, but why was he around 12 dudes at all time?
I mean, I think honestly, I think that's what it was.
Actions speak louder than words.
Exactly. I never see Jesus get no host.
Yeah. I mean, it still doesn't sound like there's any real negatives. I mean, like those things, again, those are fair points, but they're not actually things I'm teaching. Like I don't teach spam approaching. I don't teach over reliance of like lines.
Dude, we should bring a girl SJW on here.
Well,
she would actually make some points because girls have dealing with guys.
Yeah, no, I had one on last night, dude. It was a shit show.
Nice.
I told you. I think I'm having one on Wednesday. I had two on Wednesday, actually.
All right.
It's gonna be
Q2. What's your lake count?
My lake count? 4.
How much?
4. Pretty bad.
Really? How old are you?
25. Started real late. Yeah.
Damn, dude, you could get way more.
I know, but it's about timing going out. Like it's
kind of remind me of Tim Ray. Do you know who Tim Ray is?
Yeah, dude, he does.
That's my bro. I talked to him before in person.
Yeah, he's got like the same hair and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, no, NYC. Like I used to go, not go out with him, but I used to like talk to him, go in his group and all that stuff. But I've been busy with work and shit, so I haven't really gone out like that.
Dude, this chat is so funny.
I know.
I think the first time we had a one of these podcasts, it was like the chat was kind of annoying, and now it's just like they're so funny, dude. Like remember the wheelchair maxing?
Yeah,
bro. He's like these black pillars just need to get a wheelchair.
Yeah.
And that way they can game.
Let me get out of here unless there's some funny roasts. I'm open to that as well.
No, I mean I think yeah. I think we're probably gonna end the stream anyway. We've been going for like 2.5 hours. I don't want to keep it too long. Yeah, thanks for coming on, bro. Appreciate it. Appreciate you. Yeah, right. He looks exactly like Tim Ray. I was thinking that.
Does, yeah.
Dude, you know what's really disappointing? I like Tim Ray a lot. We went out many times, but he fucking quit game. I hate when people quit game and then do a 180 on game, and they're like, "Oh, game is fucking bullshit." I hate when people do that.
I'm gonna. I should make this video. I'm just gonna make this video this week. Fuck it. It's the cyclical nature of dating. Like when you're gaming, you're like, dude, this is awesome. I'm meeting new girls, and then you find a girl that you like, and then you flip it. You're like, you know what? Game was stupid. Why was I doing that? Like it's all about like just connecting with one girl, going deep. They start to forget that like the way they found that girl was by meeting other girls and like being good at talking to girls and making them feel comfortable and leading it toward the end result. So
I hate that almost as much as when dating coaches find Jesus. Like fucking Rouge. I hate that shit. Or you know who
maybe because I can see it. Because if you have like if you have a lot of just like one night stands, or if you're just hooking up with chicks and then just traveling the world all the time and you have like no friends around you all the time, like you need some kind of bigger purpose.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. But I just say when people do complete 180, fucking, you know who Revolutionary Lifestyle Design is? He was like a big inspiration of mine. He, I don't know, he has a website. He talks about travel and game and Tinder. A lot of my concepts are based on like stuff that he talked about. But anyways, and then he fucking just randomly started talking about Jesus in all his videos. He's like, yeah, listen, guys, Tinder's good, but through the power of Christ. I'm like, what the fuck? And then yeah, he just went heavy on the Jesus pill.
Yeah, but I think religion definitely has a point of like binding groups together. I think that's its like function, right? Like we all believe the same things. It gives you a sense of meaning, a sense of purpose. You feel like everything kind of makes sense because, dude, the world is so chaotic and crazy.
But
So,
why
like,
can't you just
if
get
you just feel like
your
it's
sense of
God's
worth
plan? It's out of your hands. What?
But why can't you just get your sense of worth and meaning from arguing with random people on the internet like me?
Because we don't all have platforms like you have, Alex.
But all
Alex, I have the ability to control your channel. So
that's true. Oh
fuck.
Yeah. All right. I mean, I think it was a pretty good live. Any closing thoughts?
Yeah, some people weren't here for how to protect yourself, so I'll just summarize that. So basically, learn the difference between fake attraction and real attraction. If girls put schmooze in you too much, it seems too easy. It's probably fake attraction. Real attraction kind of makes sense in the context of talking to tons of girls. Financially, draw a boundary with women. They shouldn't expect money from you. They shouldn't expect gifts and for you to buy them everything, right? They have to behave well to receive. And yeah. And you can ask them to even pitch on some things. So like one thing I'll do is like, let's say if I go eat with a girl, afterward, I'll like maybe have her get me ice cream or something, right? So she's like kind of contributing back a little bit. Mentally, keep until you've chosen a woman that you can go deep with and you feel like she's a good option for you. You should kind of keep them at a distance in your mind. So you shouldn't put too much effort or you shouldn't put too much importance on them in your mind in terms of like you don't want to get attached to them emotionally. Because if you do that at scale, you're gonna get like wrecked. So physically, watch out for scopolamine when traveling. Like Alex said, there's usually come in pairs. Sexual health, wear a condom. If you want to be super anal, you pop a condom through your boxers to prevent like herpes and this type of stuff. But condoms are usually fine, and it's kind of weird if you use your boxers. Freedom, like make sure that the girl gives you verbal consent before you pop your dick inside of her. So like you can even make this part of sex, so you like have the girl like kind of beg.
Do you really do that? I never do that.
I do that every single time. Like I get her like turned on to the point where she's like, God, come on, fuck me. I'm like, all right. So, and I basically tell her to like beg and this type of stuff. Then consent text after sex. Alex's one is like, that was so hot with a fire emoji. It's a good one. Have girls take the dark triad test to understand their psychopathy level. If they're super psycho in terms of psychopath, they feel nothing if they were to turn on you and fuck you over or false report you or fucking, steal from you or whatever. And then, yeah, if you're meeting a lot of girls, protect your phone and your wallet and other things, valuables at your house. Don't leave them like laying out in obvious places. Yeah. And if you just have valuables in general, you even have people come into your house to work or like, throw parties or something, you should have a safe where you keep like your most valuable assets anyway, or possessions. And yeah, any other thoughts on that, Alex?
No, I mean, I think you summed up pretty well. Yeah.
What's some of the other stuff that we talked about? So the one SJW guy, he was like basically just saying that what Alex teaches is transactional, which he didn't even explain it as super bad. He just said that there's bad externalities of a transaction in terms of like, if Alex messages girls and they meet up with them and they bang, that there's negative externalities to that. Well, maybe there are, but they're not like we said, it's not significant, right? And like the net good overpowers the one little nitpicking thing here and there. That's what I got out of that.
Yeah, I would also say in terms of the how to protect yourself, don't worry about it too much. Like I think a lot of guys are way too paranoid about this or that. Like don't be paranoid. Like don't really worry about it. Like use common sense, follow your gut, and that's like 90% of it, honestly.
Yeah, and if I pull a girl back and I'm like, I just feel like she's awesome. Like sometimes I'll just sleep over or let the girl sleep over. And yeah, but it's usually like Alex said, go with your gut because your gut instinct has been developed over millions of years of evolution. So like it is a better gauge than just like thinking about it really.
I mean, I think really just a key part of game is actually shutting off your conscious brain and going into a subconscious flow state, where that's, I think, really like a huge part of it.
Yeah.
Because you can vibe so much better when you're like not thinking and not in your head.
Yeah.
And that's really, you can't vibe consciously. Like you can't like really like do that. Like you have to like just go into like this, like again, like kind of turn your conscious brain off and follow your.
And it's hard to tell someone like just turn your conscious brain off, because how do they do that, especially if they're thinking? But by the certain actions, you will get into that state. Putting yourself into a more sexual state by either moaning or looking in the girl's eyes. Honestly, the best way to develop a strong connection is through the eyes. You just focus on one of the girl's pupils, look into her eyes. I actually do a connection exercise in my programs. Basically, you're trying to feel the emotions that the other person's feeling, and it generates a lot of empathy. And like, you don't really necessarily have to get really good at eye contact, but you have to get better at connecting to the person in front of you.
Yeah.
Damn, dude, we just went all woo-woo at the end of this.
Yeah. All right, cool, guys. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to Austen's channel. Until next time.
And subscribe to Alex.
Subscribe to me, please.